actually comes in and chats, and that's
right. Cool.
All right. So once you got that list up, so if you just scroll down to the bottom, you'll just see like a whole visual list, like what's up on the screen at the moment.
That's helpful.
Yeah. And then you can actually like click into a card.
Give it 2 seconds, like load properly. Now, does this one have the upgrades for like all the spellstones?
So if you click into something, so like I've got the Lesser Jasper spellstone. If you click onto that, open it up in another tab. It's got the token cards in there.
Gotcha. Yep.
All right.
Cool. So what are we looking at today?
All right.
What do you want to start with?
So I think we'll just have a quick run over of like each of the classes and the neutrals.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come back again at the end once we've gone through the whole set, because obviously there are going to be some cards that are going to be harder to evaluate without seeing the full set.
Of course.
So we can do this one of two ways. We can look at the classes we like first, or just like pick classes in a particular order, or we'll just go from the list down. But I think
from the list down works.
Yeah, probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
And I think it's better to talk about the legendaries first, because they're probably the ones we want to. I don't know whether we care so much about them or not, but like, we'll be getting one of the legendary weapons, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
So I think as like an alternate talking point is, if we get this as our weapon with our current collection, or how much more work would we need to get it to a spot where we'd be happy getting that card?
Right. Of course.
Alright, so
some more preferred than others, but
of course.
We can't really work the
list
RNG,
a bit
can
beforehand, yes.
Sorry?
You've looked at the list a bit beforehand, yes.
Oh, quite, yes, as they've been revealed.
Alright, so we'll start with Druid. So we've got, what we can do is we'll just pick a class as we go down. I'll obviously save your favorites. What would you say your favorites is? I know you like the Paladin class.
Probably Paladin, Mage, and Shaman in that order.
Alright, well, I'll give you, like, I'm pretty excited about Mage as well, but we'll give you those, and I definitely want to take Hunter and Rogue.
Right.
We'll talk about those.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Well, I guess so what's the next one? It's Hunter. So I'll start with Druid and Hunter just to get the ball rolling, and then what's after that? Mage. Alright. So I'll read these sets out and you can read the others ones. Yeah. Alright.
Sure.
Cool. Right, so we've got Ixlid. After you play a minion, summon a copy of it. So this one's probably going to be a tough one to evaluate right off the bat, just because this obviously opens up a stupid amount of combo potential right off the bat.
Of course.
Especially when you got crap like the card sitting next to it. With the world tree.
Yeah, I think they definitely work together pretty well.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would actually be pretty unhappy if I got Twig of the World Tree, because it's not something new. Because we've had Coon from, like, what was it, Gadgets End, I think it was. So I'd say you probably see some pretty nuts combos in WoW. Like, I can easily see like Blingtron being used as well with Aviana and all sorts of nonsense.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I feel like a lot of the weapons in particular a lot of the legendary weapons feel like they're, one or two in particular feel like they're for very specific deck types rather than working in most decks regardless of what other cards you're running.
So we've kind of skipped over Ixlid and we're just talking about Twig of the World Tree. But I feel like Ixlid's going to be a hard one to talk about right off the bat. But I'd see this combo potential.
Yeah, absolutely. After you play a minion, summon a copy of it, I mean.
So I don't know whether you watched the demo stream or not, but they had like some sort of N'Zoth Druid nonsense going on. So you could obviously see. Not to mention that Battle Cry less. Actually, I don't think any of the Jade cards work with him. That's interesting, because a lot of the Druid stuff is Battle Cry, and that's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's not gonna do it. It's either Battle Cry or spells. So I think it's quite smart that they
Yeah.
designed that not to work with Jade. So I think it is going to be definitely more of a control piece. If the Zoth Druid actually takes off, I could easily see this being in the list. But with like a list like that at the moment, like with our current rotation, it probably won't see play. So unless there's something like, and not to mention like the stat line sucks, right? It's gonna be
right.
I could probably see this showing up a bit more after the rotation happens after this set, but
yeah.
And I mean, I think this goes in an Azoth list, but
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm building Azoth at the moment, it's going to be pretty crowded. So
Yeah.
who knows? And Twig of the World Tree, I think everyone's like working too hard on like trying to cheat the weapon out. So obviously a busted curve in Wild would be Twig of the World Tree in 4, and then you use Blingtron just to break it for the the super ramp. But I mean, like, I think you get more out of playing Astral Communion. I don't know. I don't think this weapon's all that great. Like, the only fringe I can see is if I've got, like, I'm playing with some stupid Malagos deck, in which there's, like, probably better ways of doing it. So, I think Twig's all that good. I think people are worried about it, but to be honest, I think like there's a priest legendary later on that's going to do that thing possibly a bit better. Having said that, like the rest of Druid's kit is mostly pretty solid. Like there's some interesting stuff. So we've got branching paths, which is a choose twice. It's important to note that because it's not choose once, so it doesn't work with Fandral, who's
Fandral, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean like this card's super flexible, so what happens with this is you've got like the 3 options show up, and then you pick one, and then the 3 options show up again. So you can draw 2 cards. So that's like a slightly overcosted, Arcane Intellect.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's the payoff for like a flexible card. Like I think it's really, really strong. Like I can see this actually working in an aggro Druid list. Because I think a problem is with like running Savage Roar is that if it's like it can just often be at times just a dead card in your hand if you've lost board or something. I mean, usually at that point you would have lost. And I think another thing to point out about this card is it says give your minions 1+ attack, but it fails to mention this turn, so it's permanent +1 or +2 attack.
That is,
It could even work in like a slower Druid, like ramp or something. Gives it a bit of a finisher. Like I'd say it'd be pretty nasty to play it after bloody Spreading Plague.
I was just gonna say on like when you got 10 mana sitting there.
Board of 3/5s is pretty good, but we're talking about like the fact that the card is flexible and part of the option is card draw is I can easily see this card be played. I'm pretty excited about the next card, Astral Tiger. Like this is a good epic just because it enables like an entirely new deck idea.
Yeah, not to like the stat line alone. I think like 4/3/5. I mean
the stat line itself is fine. So if you're just playing this out on curve, it's still good.
Yeah.
The fact that it's Death Rattle has like a lot of synergy. The fact that it's a 3 attack minion might come into play later.
Yeah. So unless it gets silenced, it's going to be shuffling itself just back into the deck.
So this card is going to
you could. I guess the point of it is to buff it up, right? Then shuffle it back into your deck.
No. So when you shuffle it back into your deck, it's going to lose all its buffs. The idea is that it is an incredibly sticky minion, and you've got the new recruit mechanic, which is just you pull it straight out of your deck.
Right.
And it obviously, because of that, it ignores battle cries and all that. But this card is going to be harder to evaluate unless we look at the other cards. So if you look at the widest, you've got So you've got 3 cards that are druid specific for recruit. You've got the Grizzled Guardian, which pulls out 2 4 cost or less minions when it dies. It's death rattle to
Right.
note that. You
Hmm.
got Ironwood Golem, which is also a 4 cost minion, so it doesn't directly relate with Astral Tiger. But then you also got Oaken Summons, gain 6 armor, and recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. And the thing is once you've pulled out Astral Tiger once, you've triggered a death rattle. That's what we saw in the result list. But it's very easy to think that we could have a kind of like a mid-range deck that has like just an insane amount of card draw, which Druid does actually have access to.
Yeah.
Burn through your deck. You're pulling these guys out. You don't care about fatigue because as long as these things keep dying, they're just going to keep coming back. So, but I mean, the trade-off is like the fact that it actually has a good stat line means unless you've got these other cards to support it, it's going to be harder to pull out.
Yeah.
So it sounds like fun. It's obviously going to be hard to evaluate the entire archetype, but
Of course. So, on that note, what do you think of Grizzled Guardian? Like at 8 cost, you're obviously playing it more for the death
pretty
rattle.
hefty. Yeah, you're definitely doing it
Yeah.
for the death rattle. Obviously, you could do some stupid garbage with bombs. Obviously, there's like the 3-drop prince as well, which
Yeah.
might actually work out for Druid just because it might be easy to cut out the 3 costs. But I mean, like, I don't have that card, and I'm definitely not crafting it. Doesn't seem like a safe craft. It is a taunt, so it works with Hadronox as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good way of pulling out 2 of them, that's for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3D Sprite. I don't think... It sounds like a good replacement for Jade Blossom, which is a ramp card at the same mana slot.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are saying that they aren't going to replace it, but you could also just do redundancy. That's what bit a lot of people in the butt last set, was that they weren't too worried about Druid being overpowered. But it turns out that it just had like an insane... It had so much redundancy around about ramping out mana.
Right.
Which meant that like all the really big, expensive, super crazy cards like Ultimate Infestation were a lot more consistent to get out early.
Yeah.
And the reason why people are frustrated with that card was because the trade-off originally for Druid was that if you did like a bunch of ramp, you're pretty much putting all of you're destroying your card advantage to get some really big minions out early. You effectively want them just to carry you through the game, and then hopefully you top deck into something that can follow up with it.
Right.
But I mean, like, Ultimate Infestation just totally throws it out the window because it does everything a card wants to do.
Right.
So
powerful.
It was acceptable because it was 10 mana, but then we didn't realize that it was easy for Druid to do that at turn 4.
Yeah.
But enough about that. So Greedy Sprite's got a bit of redundancy. I can see it. Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's going to be easier to play around. Because with Jade Blossom, you play it, you get the Mana Crystal next turn. Good. Because, I mean, big druids, or like the ramp druid doesn't care about that Jade token. Sometimes they'll want the run of Jade Blossom, but often just like 2. But you guarantee that. Whereas with this, your opponent can play around it. So it's good that it's aggressively statted. In fact, it might even see play in an aggro druid list. But later on, like in the neutrals, I think there's some space for aggro druid to just get even more disgusting, to be honest. But we'll get to that. And I actually quite like the lesser Jasper Spellstone, purely because you don't even need to run any armor cards.
Yeah.
So it's a cheap ping. It's a 1 cost. So Ultimate Infestation is not gonna rotate out at the same time because they're in the same like block of expansions, the Year of the Mammoth or whatever the hell they call it.
Right.
But your hero power is going to trigger this, and the Death Knight's easily going to trigger this in 2 turns.
Right.
So what was the token? I think it's like 4 and 6 damage.
4, then 6 damage. So 6 damage for 1. If you just hold it in your hand until you've gained, what is it?
There could even be
6 armor. Is it 6 armor? You gain 3, it upgrades once. You gain 3 more, it upgrades again.
Yeah, and another thing to note is that you don't need to gain all that armor in the 1 turn. So with these spellstone things, like if on turn 2 I just hero power and hit face, it only need to gain 2 more armor. So I think it could actually work out in maybe like some sort of tempo list. Like this sort of opens up for like some really swingy turns. And I'm glad it's just I'm glad it is ornamented, but also not, because then I could do some. You could easily bring back Malagos Druid, and that'd be a whole lot of fun. Maybe not even Malagos Druid. You could just use like that Kobold we got from Old Gods that had the +2 spell damage. That'd be pretty nasty. A 1-mana fireball is excellent.
Yeah. It's just, like you said, a shame it targets a minion rather than just deal 6 damage.
Yeah.
But we'll take what we can get.
And the only one we haven't really looked at is Barkskin and Ironwood Golem.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about Ironwood Golem.
Yeah.
Like,
at the least it sits there as a 3/6, but
you're paying a bit of a drawback just for like 1 more health on a Tazdingo.
Right.
But wouldn't you just run Tara Creeper?
Yeah.
So unless you really wanted to double up on that, sure. Because a lot of these things are 4 cost minion or less, so just pull out the Tar Creeper. So it's not like it's a bad card. I want to call it bad. It probably is bad, actually. Yeah.
It definitely doesn't stand out, unfortunately. Just because of its effect.
I mean, if you're playing these big taunts, you probably don't want to tackle them anyway. And I mean, like, Tar Creeper, you're not playing for the attack, really. Like, you're not worried about doing that 1 damage. You just want it to sit there. The fact that it comes out 1 turn earlier doesn't have that drawback. Like, there's no synergy to try and build around it that a card won't already do. So, I think it's bad.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
And Tar Creeper was Ungora, wasn't it? So, it's going to rotate at the same time. So,
yeah.
I don't think it'll see play.
Such a shame. Love Tar Creeper. Give him
I feel like there needs to be more synergy
around
armor. Because, like, at the moment, the only card benefiting from this is the Spellstone, right? You've got all this armor nonsense going on. But your hero power is already doing work. We know the Death Knight is, like, crazy good. And you can just, like, proc a bunch of triggers. So,
yeah.
I feel like if there's more, I feel like some of these cards aren't going to see play until there's like more support for this like armor archetype, or there's more to do with armor. So I don't know. In whole, I think like the epics are really cool for Druid, but I don't think I'm too happy with the legendaries. I know there's probably something stupid that's going to happen with X-Led.
Yeah, definitely.
Like there's really potential, but there's nothing that jumps out at me. But in the same sense, I haven't really been interested in Druid. But I'm super if I pull 2 Astral Tigers, I'd be pretty happy to mess around with that. And I think really if you wanted to mess around with that archetype, I'd say at this point, just looking at the Druid cards, you only really want to care about Oaken Summons. But I feel like that might just not be good enough. I suppose it is. It draws you a card. It gives you health. And if you're not playing like any low costing cards, so you can sort of build your deck around a bit more just into pulling out really strong 3 and 4 drops.
Right. Of course.
And you could probably do that purely by just putting in 2 wild growths. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
If we still had living roots, it'd be sick. But we don't. I suppose maybe that's where Jasper sells. Maybe that's where the tempo deck comes in. You just play some really cheap spells like Lesser Jasper. Because I mean, the 2 damage ping is pretty strong. It deals with like a lot of 1-drops, but probably won't see as much play while patches are still around because 2 counter patches, a lot of 1-drops should be running 3 health really.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's move on to Hunter, I think. So
I'm curious to see. I really want to see your take on like the. I know you like Hunter a lot.
I absolutely love Hunter.
So I'm curious to see.
I pretty much broke into the game with mid-range Hunter because I managed to pull like 2 Savannah high main legendaries very early on, and I managed to get the rank 10 with like a single Savannah high main and like a bunch of garbage commons at the time. And this was being the Grand Tourney. That's when I like really got back into Hearthstone and started playing seriously in this.
Not bad.
So I think there's actually some really interesting cards. Sure, you got like the whole fucking game going on about with no minions, but maybe there's a space.
I am very curious. This is what I meant when I said earlier on. There's very niche, specific decks.
So I'm actually really excited about the legendary minion.
Yeah.
And like this doesn't fit in a deck at the moment. Like we need to rethink. It feels like if the meta can slow down a bit, you'd run this in mid-range Hunter. Just because you really need to have a lot of the low-cost beasts in Hunter at the moment if you want to contest the game. But I could be wrong because looking at the greater picture in the set, there is a little bit of comeback for Hunters now. Because if you look at, so I'm just going to jump straight to Flanking Strike just to talk about a point. The big problem with Hunter is that you get on board at the start, you stay on board, you're going to win. And the thing is, usually aggro beats you pretty hard. This is talking strictly mid-range Hunter because like I don't think aggro Hunter's really taken off very well. There's been Secret Hunter and there has been some success with that. But I felt like that was when Call of the Wild was still unnerved, and pretty much the entirety of Hunter was carried off the back of running 2 of those bad boys in any deck you built. It was just so good. But Flanking Strike's really interesting because like a lot of the cards that are similar, like Jade Lightning, for example, that's just good. So if we compare this directly to Jade Lightning, you don't have to build up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nonsense or all that. But it's probably easier to compare to Dispatch Kodo. Like this is practically Dispatch Kodo, except the stats are the same, but you've got more attack, which is probably what you want. This wolf is going to be a beast, I think. It has to be. But the 3 damage is super relevant because this is something that Hunter can't do at the moment is do a swing on its turn. Usually what it needs to do is it just needs to play the bigger minion and hope that that sticks. Because some people say that with Savannah High Main, for example, if you let that swing face, you've already lost. And the reason is because you didn't have an answer to Savannah High Main. A lot of what I feel Hunter has been recently is you just get on board and you hope that you don't lose it at all because they can't come back at all. So yeah, it is just a beast, but that's important. Then this also supports the legendary, which is where you want to probably only start putting beasts in that maybe like the 5-drop slot.
Yeah.
Just because like Tundra Rhino is a thing, anything with charge obviously has the potential to go nuts. In fact, I think the Spellstone here is, I think someone brought it up on Reddit that there might be an actual control Hunter finisher if you have the Spellstone at its max charges. So it's like just by itself, if I had to play the 5-drop as it is, like that Spellstone as it is, it's not too bad of a feeling. But as soon as you play like one secret, that's pretty good. And I think the new secret they got is pretty good. Like it's because it. Okay, so this new secret is like whenever an enemy attacks your hero, summon a 3-cost minion as the new target. So the closest we've had to this card was Bear Trap, but it actually required your opponent to actually hit your face. So the trade-off is that the minion you summon is totally random. It could be like a bonkers 3-drop, like Tar Creeper, or it could be like something garbage. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of garbage 3-drops out there. But this 3-drop has Taunt. It doesn't matter what it is, it's going to have Taunt released that turn. So it's pretty much a 2-mana block attack, and I don't think there's like a whole lot of bad 3-drops. Like the 3-drops off at the moment is pretty safe, I would imagine. Like even if you pull out like a 1/1, which I think there is in this set actually, that still that saves a swing to face from like Bitter Tide Hydra. So I think that secret's pretty good and probably see play. Legendary weapon. If I pulled this, I think I'd be happy. Just because I don't need any more cards to at least try this weapon out. Whereas like with the Druid one, the one thing I can think of is like maybe I could do something dumb with Medivh, break my weapon and then cast. Like I think the nuts situation people are looking at is you play Medivh, you break your weapon, you have like 10 mana crystals, and then you play Ultimate Infestation on the same turn. So then you also get the 10-drop from the Medivh staff. So it sounds like there's some pretty gnarly situations, but we're talking about like 2 legendaries and then Ultimate Infestation. But I mean, I suppose UI has always been in their fucking hand from turn 1 or something. But a lot of people are memeing about the new weapon. It's probably is a meme, but it's gonna be fun. I just feel like it kind of sucks that I need to have no minions, because one really cool property of Hunter that I've always liked is that it has a lot of spells that summon monsters. So when you have cards like in TGT, I think it was like the Alec, where it was the Joust, reveal a minion, if yours was bigger you drew it. So you had some like nonsense going on with like the Yogg Load Hunter, where you ran the Alec just so that you could have, it was practically a second way of getting Yogg really easy, because everything else was just spells. But like all Hunter's decks in that area, it was just piggybacking off the success of Call of the Wild. So I'm kind of annoyed that I have to have like absolutely no minions. But having said that, they've brought in like 1, 2, 3, 4 spells that bring in minions. So I suppose it's not that bad. Crushing Walls I feel is like disappointing, just because we'll compare it to like a priest control card that they got this set, and you look at the two, well, that's garbage. Like Hunter's always got like overcosted crap epics. The only good one we had got nerfed. So I think there's like some huge potential for the legendary minion. I'd love to play around with that. I would be crafting that, but like Rogue got some cool shit. I'm gonna be crafting a Rogue thing or two.
You notice Katharina's the only one for Hunter that has Recruit as well. Like none of their other cards have Recruit.
Yeah, but I think that's fine. There is some neutral stuff.
I'm
not too sure if that's
compared to looking at Druid, where what was it, one?
Yeah, Seeping Oozling sounds like it might just make lists, because it's like your 3rd and 4th copies of Savannah Highmane.
Gain the death rattle of a random minion in your deck.
Not to mention that could run them. I don't know.
I think it
might be a bit crowded on that slot.
Yeah, there's an ooze later on the cube.
Talk
about. And if you want to talk Savannah Highmane with that, I think that's gonna be fun.
It's just gonna be too slow. It needs to be. Maybe this is enough comeback. Like these 3 spells here: Spellstone, the Secret, and then Flanking Strike.
Yeah.
Maybe that's enough to sort of like get some more comeback for Hunter. So that's what I'm mostly excited about. And
Do
then
you
there's
remember Cobra Shot by any chance? From what was it? Gnomes
which
and that was
was
from
that the one
Goblins
where
and
it just like did free damage to an enemy and then also to the enemy hero?
Yeah,
That was just garbage.
and that was 5 cost. So
No, but
Hunter's come a long way.
getting there. I also
Yeah,
find Candle Shot very interesting. I don't know whether
I
it's
know,
actually going to
right?
be a good card, and I don't
Yeah.
think it might not be in the place to shine this set, but it's interesting because
Hmm.
um, you could probably jam Pirates into Hunter now. Maybe that's the early game that works. I mean, like if you compare this to some other similar things, like the bloody one cost Warrior Pirate minion that gives you a hook. It's kind of miserable, but like Hunter also has access to Hunter's Mark, so you
Yeah.
can take out that big beefy minion with 2 cards, but it's only going to cost 2 mana, and you still got. It's interesting to have a ping in Hunter. I think is what I'm trying to say, and not to mention that it'll help some other pirates running. Like maybe it's okay to run Deckhand now.
Yeah.
And then you got Cave Hydra. Now I feel like people are overlooking this a little bit. I mean the stat line's crap, but it's got 4 health, so it has a decent survival chance.
Mm,
But being a 3-cost beast, it curves right into Houndmaster, which is the single card that got me onto playing Hunter. Like that's how I
yeah.
started Hunter. I went through all the basic stuff. I looked at Houndmaster and went, "This card is sick." And it's one of the. I feel like if there's a card that identifies basic Hunter, it's Houndmaster. It just gets carried off that. And
Oh yeah.
when you think about Cave Hydra in that sense, not to mention you've also got Crackling Razormaw. This gets attack. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So with Houndmaster becomes a 4/6 and doing like 4 damage to up to 3 minions on turn 4 is pretty good. And I mean, sure, we shouldn't really be talking curve, but I mean, like, mid-range Hunter lives off the curve. Let's be honest
Yeah.
here.
I'm curious with just out of nowhere with Deathstalker Rexar, and you get this on Builder Beast.
It's disgusting, right? Like, if it gets
Wouldn't
poisonous, which you can get off adapt things like Razormaw, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, it kills anything it damages, right?
Yeah.
Like, with adapt and all the other beast support that Hunter can provide, I think this card's just...
Right.
I mean, it sucks if you play it on its own, sure, but, like, there's a bunch of beasts that Hunter has that they don't want to top deck into. Not to mention that, like, the Hunter 3-drop slot is always super fucking crowded. I feel like that's how Hunter's balance is, like, all the really interesting options crowd around the 3-drop. So, it's interesting. I feel like, so, in short, I'd be happy with the weapon if I got it. I don't know about you. Like, you'd definitely be able to try it out. Probably haven't seen.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely worse weapons in this set.
Definitely. Oh, we haven't got the Shaman yet, so...
Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we get there, though.
I don't know. I have some ideas for Shaman.
We'll see. Yeah.
Anyway, there's potential here, and I feel like the commons definitely... The commons and rares are very appealing. And in the top end, it's not looking all that great. But I am, like, really keen on the legendary. To my side...
They're interesting, if nothing else. Definitely
interesting.
Potential.
I feel like Oosling's going to be hard to evaluate, but in the same sense. It's a 6 cost, it's going to be tough. It dies the Shredder, right? Anyway, moving on.
Right.
So, Mage. So, how are you feeling about Mage at the moment? I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. Definitely.
Like, not only is there, like, some fun nonsense coming in, there's actually a lot of, like, crazy potential.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alright, so you're in charge of this set. Read on.
Okay. Well, first off, I guess we've got this little lady, this 9-cost 3/3 Dragon Caller Alana. What does she do? Her battle cry is to summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you cast this game that costs 5 or more.
Yeah, pretty easy to do, I think, with a lot of like control mages.
So if you're playing this on 9 mana, odds are you're going to have at least played a couple of 5-cost spells during the course of the game.
Yeah, so I feel like the main criticism of this card at the moment is that it just dies to Anduin, like the Death Note, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, what doesn't at this point? That card is disgusting. And I'm kind of irritated that card got printed because I crafted 2 Shadow Forms. They're just dead now because, like, why play Shadow Form when you can play Anduin?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are just... So, what would you generally play? Like, if we're going to look at this on curve, right? And you play this on an empty board, ideally.
Right, of course.
You probably hit Blizzard. You'd hit Flame Strike. There's Firelands Portal. There's Meteor that's played a fair bit.
Right.
There's probably a lot of...
You got Fireball? Am I remembering?
No, that's a 4-cost spell. It needs to cost at least 5 mana.
That's right. Brain death. Sorry.
Yeah.
What else are we thinking?
Greedy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to know that like there's obviously some more bloat happening around the mage space for Kobolds Tome, but Kobolds Tome is going to be leaving us the set after this.
Yeah. It's gonna be a sad thing. I'm curious how, like, if Alana herself works in decks like, Quest Mage, you imagine?
Yeah, so let's see. On average, you probably, if you want to play this on curve, on average, you probably would have had, I'd say 2 spells at this point. So maybe a Blizzard, maybe a Fireland, something like that.
Yeah.
So, like, if you've only played 1, that kind of sucks. If you played 2, it's really good. Right? So that would be like, what, 13 worth of stats? Obviously, it's weak to, like, well, I don't know. It doesn't matter Dragonfire because these will be dragon tokens, I believe.
Exactly. Yeah. So they are 5-cost 5/5 dragon.
Yeah. So if you've played 2 spells, this card's decent. But obviously, you can have like up to 6 spells. Maybe you probably won't run that many expensive ones. So maybe like 4 or 5. But even if you play it with 3, that's disgusting. That's 18 worth of stats.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's also a mage card is a pretty big deal because if you've got Ice Block and you're behind on board, like if you're just got an empty board, they've got a board, but you have Ice Block and they can't pop it, you just throw this bad boy down, or bad woman, should I say, and then you've got like a massive board. You have... Let's see, like at max capacity, it's got like 33. Is that right? Easily over 30, right?
Yeah,
it's too fucking late for this.
Just to point out quickly before we move on or anything, we are when she's talking about casting 5-cost spells, we do have 2 new epic 5-cost spells to look at later.
We do.
Those could easily, I feel, slot into.
I feel like
a deck that uses Alana.
Yeah, I feel like Deck of Wonders is obviously... A lot of people are going to say, yeah, it's a bad card. It probably is. It's going to be a fun card. It's a bad card, though.
Yeah.
But you are going to see this because this is going to come off Tome. And while decks that play Tome, like Quest Mage, which is probably going to be changed to like some sort of combo mage, potentially, with some of the cards on this set, this is going to pop up every time. Every now and then, it's gonna clog up your hand, and when you play it, people are gonna be frustrated on both ends. Like there's gonna be some nonsense made, but like Dragon's Fury, if you're not running like the Lawrence, like I can't even remember if lower end like control mages still run things like Frostbolt. And some other like really cheap. I suppose at most it's like Frost Nova, But having said that, if you're
Yeah.
running Dragon's Fury, you might not need that 2-card combo because, like, sometimes on turn 5 you want to Frost Nova Doomsayer, and this helps
Yeah.
out just being the 1 card. So maybe you still run it because, like, on turn 5, if you just do like 3 damage to all minions, right? That's what Excavated Evil, and that was a good card. That was run. Sure, this might be a bit meta dependent, but you're also going to have Dustbreaker, which is a card we'll get to later on. So we might actually see 4 health minions being a very big deal in this expansion, I would imagine. But having said that, with Dragon's Fury, I'd still, if you're running Frost, if you're like running at least 3 cross spells, this card's good, right? And then on an early stage, but especially if you want to, like, it's like a budget flame strike, kinda.
Alright, so if we want to move on, I'm very curious about how the mage weapon, Aluneth,
I
is
think
going to
this
turn
weapon's
out.
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this is aggro mage. This is gonna bring back face mage. Actually,
So
aggro secrets. I've been building aggro secrets for like the last 2 sets, and while they're not like the best deck, they've always been fun, and there's always been like super swingy turns. But like the problem I've had with those decks every time I've tried it is that you can just fall flat in your face and just learn.
Yeah.
Because like it's kind of like Secret Hunter in some respect. Like because of how much you can cheat stuff out, you could be like have no cards around about turn 4 or 5. And I think the good thing about Aluna is you don't feel too bad when it's destroyed, because when you play it, you draw the 3 cards. Like this is at worst a 6 mana draw 3 cards.
Right. Exactly.
Which I wouldn't feel too bad about, but like as soon as you get like another turn out of that, you're just getting nuts. So I'd say this card, I'd be super excited if I got this weapon, because I would run a deck that would not run anything more than like 6 mana maybe. Or at least like only 1 or 2. Maybe like a single Firelands Portal or 2. Just because it's more burn. But you want to throw like a ton of cheap spells. And because another thing is too, like later on you still have the cards that will cheat secrets out, but you just float like a ton of mana. So drawing like an insane amount of cards every single turn, if this is just left unchecked, Secret Mage, like an aggressive Secret Mage deck, won't have any issues with that. I think it'd just absolutely love it.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to point out, like once you get, like you said, once you get to proccing it, like if your opponent can't destroy it, you're going to be self-milling a lot unless you can just playing all those cards you're drawing.
There has been barely any games when I go past like turn 7 or 8 where I haven't already lost. Of course.
Yeah.
And I would imagine with this, like if I could draw that other half of my deck by turn 8, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah. Of course.
So I don't think like to be honest, at that point in the game you've already lost, so I don't think that's actually an issue.
Yeah.
It's obviously gonna feel crap if you have this at the end, like the lower end of your deck. But I mean, you're probably lost at that point anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
No, this is definitely a powerful tool. I'm super excited about it. I think Aggro Mage is back because like I don't know whether you saw like the Aggro Mage or the Face Mage, but they ran just like lots of just random card draw. Like they ran Cold Lights, they ran, which you probably still run. They ran like Loot Hoarders on top of the Novice Engineers, and they ran the Acolytes. And with this, you probably still run maybe like the Novice Engineers. Maybe I'd say you definitely run Cold Lights because you don't care about their cards. You just want to burn stuff. And not to mention, well, maybe not even. Maybe with this, like you wouldn't run the non-aggressive card draw stuff. So, because you've already got like the Archaeologist, the one that draws a secret, a 2-drop.
Yeah.
And you want that. And maybe as a 1-off, you play like the 8 mana spell from the last set, which just plays up to 5 secrets from your deck. That thing's by like 5 cards, right? If you just went nuts with secrets. And the new secret we got here is pretty cool. I think it's actually super strong, especially for like, maybe even for Control Mage. Because this is like Snipe on steroids from Honto. And the crazy thing is like it helps you outrace aggro decks. I don't think people have looked at that. Because what people want to do is like they want to test for mirrored entity, so you play like a shitty minion. But if you do that, this is like almost a fireball to face. No, this is like lava burst. Actually, if we want to get close to that, you play like a shitty.
So what is it? We're talking about explosive runes.
Yeah, we're talking about explosive runes. So it's like
deal 6 damage to it and any excess to their hero. So we're dealing with, I believe,
it's like trample,
overwhelm. Yeah, trample from Magic.
Yeah. So if you're familiar with that, so it actually that's gonna be frustrating because like if you're running Mirror Entity and Explosive Runes, which I'm not sure why you would do. I don't know whether Mirror Entity still... Because I think you ran Mirror Entity before in, like, Secrets, just because you didn't really have much better options.
Yeah.
Maybe you run both? Just for the bluff effect? Because obviously you don't want to give, like, a really high health minion to someone playing aggressively.
Yeah.
In the same set, it's like you don't want a chance. Explosive Runes. Right. So I see that as a super aggressive card because to me that's like more burn. If Mage didn't already have enough of that.
All right, so quickly we'll go on to the epics,
and
then on to the rares and all that.
We've kind of already gone over the epics.
Yeah,
Deck of Wonders is garbage, but man, do I want those cards. I will play that deck, but it's garbage. And even if you hate that card, you're gonna see it because of Tome.
Like you said, it's very much like when drawn, cast a random spell. It looks like it's fun at the very least. So it's just gonna be, oh, what am I gonna get from the next one? Something like, I don't know, like I heard someone mention a Casino Mage deck or something like that.
Casino Mage has always been around, really.
Yeah. So I think this one would fit right into that. And then we've got Dragon's Fury. So reveal a spell from your deck. Deal damage equal to its cost to all minions for 5.
Yeah.
So
even if you run Frost Nova, it's going to be like an Excavated Evil, like pre-spell from like ages ago. That's just a solid card. I don't know what... Maybe you run 2 of them because it's a 5 cost.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely like...
I think that's definitely going to be seeing play.
Yeah, like you said earlier, it procs Alana's effect, so...
It's not even that. It's just another way of dealing with board on turn 5.
Yeah.
And it's only on 1 card, which is a pretty big deal.
Of course.
Right, so the other...
So quickly...
Sorry, go ahead.
It's alright. It's alright. So quickly.
No
I know. It's understandable. Alright, so quickly we'll go on to the rares. We've got Leyline Manipulator. We already talked about Explosive Runes. And then we've got Lesser Ruby Spellstone. So we've got Leyline Manipulator, 4 cost, 4/5. And its battle cry is if you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2.
So
it's an elemental as an added bonus.
Yeah.
So
okay, right off the bat, it's a fucking Yeti. Yeti is good. That has been like the fucking cornerstone of. It's your grizzly bear from it. Like this is what like the cornerstone of Hearthstone is about. 4 mana, 4/5, and this is a 4 mana, 4/5 with text. That is good. This will see play. You put this in fucking Death Knight Mage. So, I don't know.
Exactly.
That's
it's an elemental, so it procs the lifesteal from Jaina.
It's sick.
I'm very much
some
enjoying
people are actually
card.
saying that you don't need to play Quest Mage anymore. You play this card because you can use cards like Simulacrum, right? And then you get like 0 cost. What's that 2-drop? Apprentice.
Oh, the 3/2 that reduces spell cost by 1.
I think that's a bit like far-fetched. I still think it might be easier just to go with Quest Mage as it is, because it is a battle cry. However, there's a couple of other things that are pretty crazy. Like the other rare, the Spellstone. Alright, so it says play 2 elementals to upgrade. Firefly is already a busted card. I don't know whether that's already played. And maybe Tempo Elemental is there. Because, I mean, I remember very early on in Ongoro building like a tempo-based Elemental Mage. That was fun.
Yeah.
Had some success. It's probably not perfect, but I mean, like, with, like, cheating mana is always good. Like, mana manipulators, like, leyline manipulators, just going to see play. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Spellstone, but I feel like that's going to be super easy to get off.
Well,
because,
as someone who I really enjoy playing elementals myself in my Paladin deck, so I'm just saying,
there's
like,
some cool stuff for Paladin.
like there's some really good stuff that like I can just imagine for Mage just having like look at this. We've got the Leyline Manipulator, Arcane Artificer, and there's already a bunch of neutral and Mage elementals that exist already, like Pyros. You've got
I'm actually
Water
thinking,
Elemental, like
thinking the Spellstone, it might actually make like maybe mid-range elemental pretty good as well, because like you could use that as like it's effectively at its end it's a 2-mana tome, and with that you don't have to worry about card draw so much, so you might even cut like the Arcane Intellects. I'd like, do you even run that in those kind of decks? Maybe you run both. I feel like there's some potential there. I don't know where it'll necessarily make it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you'd put it into the control one. I think it needs to go in a faster deck, and it needs to act as like some sort of card draw, but in the same sense it needs to be in your hand.
Yeah.
Like, I would not keep this. It's way too slow. Actually, it is way too slow. It'd have to go on like the control decks.
Yeah.
So maybe use this as a... Actually, who am I kidding? So that's going to definitely be played in like quests later on, regardless of like whether you get that or not, just because Tome's going to be rotating out. Maybe you play it as a one-off. So this deck of wonders nonsense, get ready for that shit for the next 2 years. That's it. Like,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, just get used to. Like,
at least
if you
it'll
find
be
this card frustrating, you're gonna find it frustrating for the next 2 years.
All right.
And then you got Shifting Scroll. That fucking makes it even worse. You wouldn't run this card, would you? Does Quest Mage need that much support? Does Quest Mage
I'm curious. Shifting Scroll. So it works like Shifter Xeris, where it does. It just keeps turning into a different card every.
But it's
like
specifically mage spells, which is obviously some of the best spells in the game. Granted that they are trying to bloat that a bit with this nonsense and some other nonsense that's come along the way.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't know whether it actually changes on the turn you draw it. I don't think it does, so it needs to be in your hand for one turn. So
we've got.
that's not going to see play.
I'm just curious with the other two commons we've got for Mage before we go on. There's like Raven Familiar. What's the mechanic that I'm thinking of that it
Joust,
because that's
Joust from TGT, yeah.
And that's the first time we've seen that since the Grand Tournament, right?
Exactly, yeah. So that's a really interesting welcome back. I mean,
right.
I guess that's pretty good. Like it's card draw.
Yeah.
And you probably played on your... Actually, it's a beast as well. So this is like Mage's first beast as well. This is a very interesting card. Yeah, I think it'll see some play. Because you could actually build Control Mage around what's it? Maybe even around maybe like a more mid-range stuff. Actually, no, it'd be Control. You could run Curator. Now, Curator's leaving after soon, so if it doesn't see play this set, it's going to need some more support to engage it. But maybe just the extra card draw to draw into your big board clear is worth it. So and it's a decent body, like it's a 2/2. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Very curious.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, but I think it'll definitely system play. Or at least
Yeah.
if I grab that, playing around with like the control mage space, I'll play some nonsense like Curator because I don't have Jaina.
Yeah.
And then you got the one drop.
Yeah, Arcane Artificer. Whenever you cast a spell, gain armor equal to its cost.
And it's an elemental.
Yes, it is.
So maybe you don't run it. Oh, I suppose there's the option to run it out turn 1 if you absolutely have to. You absolutely need to contest the board.
Yeah, I couldn't really see myself running this over like something like a worm though.
You don't necessarily need to run 2 of them. You can run 1.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, actually, you know what the bigger problem with this is? You get this off the Discover Elemental card, right? So Mage is going to see this a fair bit. Granted that there's like a lot of Mage Elementals now, but this is going to be everywhere. The 1 cost is super important just because it's flexible. And even if it's like just for like 1 turn, like if it dies in the next turn, you've just tacked on 1 mana for like a heal. That's pretty potent.
Yeah.
So even if like you don't even need to run this card, you could just run the Discover Elemental card, and then every now and then you could just like jackpot into some heal. So
it's true.
Even just a 1-off sounds pretty good. Like I'd be
yeah.
Maybe replace the 1 mana 2/2 Death Rattle heal both the I can't remember.
Yeah, we will be losing Babbling Book pretty soon as well, so...
No, but I don't think you could really compare that card to this one.
No, of course, I'm just saying, just for 1 mana cost, like, minions and all that.
Yeah.
Just
we better get a move on. Alright, so we got Paladin next.
Yes. My favourite. I love these guys.
Paladin's got some interesting stuff.
I'm very excited for some of these cards. Very excited. So we've got... Okay. So we've got the Legendary Minion first. We've got Lanessa Sunsorrow, 7 cost 1/1, and her Battlecry. Cast each spell you cast on your minions this game on this one. So... so much potential. So much.
Like a lot of people jumped on this and said, hey, they do care about Quest Paladin. And I mean, like, yeah, if you're going to play Quest Paladin, you could jump straight on it.
Of course, it fits perfectly.
I'd say mid-range Paladin, can definitely say it. You know,
yeah.
Not exactly. I don't think the 7-drop slot is exactly exciting at the moment. Like there's Curator.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
I think this.
Okay, so just to keep in mind, obviously, like all the cards that get cast, like for her effect, it's going to be, you know, like all of these +3 attack plus like there's adaptation and all that. It's important to remember like what I saw today, I think on the stream where it showed like what happened when she actually got played was that the adapt will choose an adaptation at random and you don't get to pick one.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be playing like that 1 cost adaptation in the same deck.
I mean, if you
trying to do the last Kaleidosaur.
All right, so obviously we can see like even if you only like have 1 card on it. So a lot of people are saying like if you've only cast Dreadsteed this game, not Dreadsteed. Jeez, I missed that card.
Yeah.
Spike Reach Steed. So even if you just cast that, we already know that card's disgusting. Even if you just cast it on like the Silverhand recruit.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if you got something like just like a what's the like Blessing of Kings? So it's like a 7 mana 5/5. It's not too bad. Like, if you had to do run it out, obviously if you haven't cast anything, it's absolute garbage. But I feel like you would have cast like 1 or 2 spells on Kirk on average by then.
Of course.
And obviously there's the potential to blow out. And yeah, you could even see this in Murloc and Paladin, actually, because they run like a lot of the same nonsense.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there any other spells down there there's what is it? There's one spell still there. Yeah. What's it? Potion of heroism. Give a minion divine shield. Draw a
Oh
card.
yes, we do have. Yes, we do have this new
Well,
buff
that's a
card. I guess we should
cycle.
talk
2
about.
mana.
Yeah, 2 mana. Give a minion divine shield. Draw a card. So that's
that card has to see play. Like,
oh yeah,
it's
I
card
think so.
draw.
Yeah, right. 2 cost. We draw a card. We give a minion divine shield free.
No, so. Sorry to jump the gun, but like I think that's just relevant to
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it definitely will see it. And then we got the legendary weapon as well.
Oh yes, one of my favorite weapons from WoW coming in. We've got Valanir, 6 cost, 4/2, and quite an interesting death rattle. Give a minion in your hand +4/+2, and when it dies, re-equip this weapon. So now, doesn't that sound fun?
It sounds fun, but you're gonna have to like think a bit more about the deck you put this in, because this is a death rattle, and if you want to play any other weapon, this is gonna come back immediately afterwards. So
yeah.
But having said that, you could do that to proc like the hand buff effect multiple times. So if you've got this out and then Yawn go play Tyrion, and then that dies, that procs it immediately. In fact, you could actually get 2 buffs on it that turn. So if it's got like 1 charge left, you swing, it'll break, and then you play.
I am curious to see how it works primarily with Tyrion, because if you were to buff Tyrion with it, play Tyrion,
and then have Tyrion die,
does it proc Ashbringer onto you first, and then Valanir destroys Ashbringer, or does it proc Valanir and then Ashbringer destroys Valanir?
No. Okay, so if you've got Valanir up, doesn't matter what durability it's at, you play Tyrion. You got to wait for Tyrion to die because it's a death rattle. But when Tyrion dies, you'll equip the Ashbringer, and then Valanir is going to trigger, and then re-equip itself again, do the proc. One that's a bit more forceful is the Death Knight Uther, which I've seen play in just like some more traditional mid-range paladin lists. Not even like for the control thing, because I mean like it's just a solid card by itself. It's no way a bad card. It's just not seeing play because outside of like a faster Merlot Paladin really isn't seeing play in the competitive space. But I mean, like if you play the Death Knight, it would just proc it immediately.
Yeah.
And a +4/+2 isn't really something to laugh about. But having said that, it's unique in that most Paladin hand buffs affect the entire hand, but this is just on one target.
There is one interaction I'm very excited to see as well with it, and that's with Doppelgangster as well. Playing this onto Doppelgangster, you end up with 3 6/4s, right? And whenever they die, just thoughts.
I mean, it's not going to give them the death rattle. Like the Valanir's death rattle is just purely on the weapon. Doesn't care about anything else. But I mean, having said that, you've got like shit like Rallying Blade, or maybe you run the new weapon, the Maul. Maybe you just like keep breaking your Valanir. Actually, that could go in like you put this in an aggressive list, right? Because you've got like Paladin has got some extra charges, got some extra beefy minions. And this is obviously, I feel like this is actually an aggressive weapon. Like, you don't care about the durability. The durability is purely just to, like, gate out the death rattles a bit. But, like, in an aggressive list, you're running at least 2 Rallying Blades. And then maybe later on, you're doing that purely just to buff up, like, your Leroy or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's got the same stat line, like the 4/2 as True Silver Champion. So.
Yeah, maybe you build like a slightly slower aggro list that curves into this weapon as its top end. And because I mean, when you think about it, like Paladin doesn't have a whole lot of damage up hand, And if they're just swinging for 4 damage every fucking turn on turn 6, and then every second turn after that, they're buffing something in their hand.
Yeah.
And because they can control it, if you've top decked like a tiny minion, right? If you're low on cards, you top deck a tiny minion. It's going to make all your tiny minions still worthwhile in the end game. So you draw the tiny, like the little guy, like say the one drop we got from last set, the Taunt Divine Shield
Righteous Protector. Yeah, that
so
makes
you
it
draw
instantly
that,
a 5/3.
you break your
with Divine
Valnir,
Shield.
you break your Valnir, you get a, like, what is it? It'd be like a 5/3 with Taunt. Sure, you're floating like, 8, 9 mana, but that's not a pad top deck for a 5/3 Divine Shield Taunt.
Yeah.
And you're still swinging at their face for 4 damage. This year, I'd be if I got this weapon, I can easily think of like some sort of aggro list just to keep beating the shit out of someone. You run like a shit ton of card draw, like, obviously you want to punish controllers with like Divine Favor. I can't wait for people to whinge about that fucking card again. Because I remember like in the GVG and the TGT period where you just like had aggro paladin. Like I built one for fun, ran 2 Divine Favors.
Yeah.
And it all came from the board, but you just had like so much card draw. You just keep throwing threats out. That's why I'm like also excited about the Mage one.
Of course.
So
right, so
actually, I think it's more of an aggro tool now than I'm actually thinking about this weapon. I'm really excited for that one now.
Oh yeah, so excited. All right, so moving on to the epics quickly. We've got Level Up and Call to Arms.
You say quickly, but it's not a quick review. We've already spent an hour on this. It's gonna be
I know that was on my mind. If we want to, it all depends how long we want to be sitting here, I guess. And I was thinking,
I'm having a good day.
Fair enough.
I need to keep my mind off things.
All right. So then we've got Level Up and Call to Arms. So Level Up, for 5, give your Silver Hand recruits +2/2 in Taunt, and Call to Arms for 4, recruit 3 minions that cost 2 or less. So Level Up. Do you see this getting much play, like the +2/+2 and Taunt to your Silver Hand recruits? I mean, like, I'm just thinking of like
a lot of people have already compared this to Quartermaster from GVG. Now, the big thing with Quartermaster was that at least you had like the body there. But this could be a bit tough. Hey, Prof, how you doing? Hope you like card games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not really enthusiastic about Level Up. Like, what support has there been for like Silverhand? So I think we need to look at like the rest of the set. More
down below, we've got Dry Gulch Jailer.
Yeah, that adds 3 Silverhands. Now that the token for that Silverhand token is like a 1 mana one, right? 1 mana 1/1s. It's not too bad. Actually, that'd be pretty good in like some hand buff stuff. So maybe not here for the cards, here for the dirt. Well, if you're here for a couple of kids whinging, sure.
Come to the right place. But I mean, like, you play this in concert with what other ones do we have that at least put the Silver Hand recruits onto the board? We've got Stand Against the Darkness and Lost in the Jungle.
Lost in the Jungle is a good one. You got the Vine Cleaver, which
I
don't know. You also got like the Beast, the 4 mana Adapt Beast, that adapt your Silver Hands. Maybe there's enough support for something to come up, but I just feel like in a competitive sense, maybe just a flat out aggro driven deck is just going to work better. It's probably not going to use that. Maybe Crystalline see some play.
Maybe.
Just because Lost in the Jungle is a good aggro tool. And anything you can attempt to cheat out is good. So, I mean, like, if you just... We're looking at Crystalline just quickly. You play Lost in the Jungle, you've discounted your Crystalline by 2 as opposed to 1. So, on turn 5... Am I thinking this right? Yeah, on turn 5, you play Lost in the Jungle, you can play Crystalline for 4. So
for 4, So that's Divine Shield. I'm very much a fan of like most things with Divine Shield. So
yeah, well, Rallying
5
Blade is
cost.
still in there, and you generally just run Rallying Blade for like
Yeah,
the 3 attack weapon on 3 mana.
of
The
course.
Divine Shield's a bonus.
Mm,
So, well, I mean, so obviously Crystalline has some interest in like the aggro. There's definitely a lot of aggro tools. Even maybe the Drygulch Jailer is good just because it's also Death Rattle.
yeah.
So, but I mean, thinking in the sense that, do we want to build a deck? Would be excited if we got that. I'm not going to go out of my way to craft that card, I don't think.
Of course. I'll be happy if I pull it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't
Portal
think
Arms
that
is
I'll
another
be.
interesting thing because, like I mentioned,
Yeah.
building an aggro deck where you run double Divine Favor, just want to draw cards. But obviously, if you, there's been situations I've been where you've had both of them in your hand and it's against an aggro matchup. It's just a dead card, or even against mid
Yeah.
range because they're just top decking all the time. So maybe you want to run one Divine Favor for like the control matchup, and then you run one of the Call to Arms because let's draw 3, and then you play them immediately. This is better than small time recruits. This is like because like it's for 1 mana more, but you summon all of them. So
Yeah.
you can get up to 6 mana, but worst case you get 3, but you're drawing 3 cards. Like you're thinning your deck out. This card's actually pretty sick. I feel like there's definitely some potential there, but like like I said, I'm not gonna go off my way to craft these cards.
Exactly.
Crystalline potential there.
Yeah.
There's there's your elemental support. I don't know how you run your elemental decks. You want to talk about those? I remember having some nonsense about them like very early on Ongoro, but that was just because like, hey, I can pull out like 5 more Ragnaros Light Lords. Like,
that's usually the goal of my of most things. I'll have like I've got Firefly, I've got Servant of Calamos.
No,
I'm hoping
that's a nerf actually. This
Mhm.
nerfs pulling out multiple Ragnaroses off the 5 mana one because now you're going to see this idiot 4 more times as well. In fact, it could take up the slot. I don't accept that's not necessarily bad. Maybe some Blackguard synergy. I don't know. It's hard
Yeah.
to say. I don't think you'll see play. Maybe you need some more support. The Spellstone. The problem is with like heal is just not as good as armor. It's a lot harder to do that. And when you compare, and then it's like a 2/2 Spirit with Taunt. Actually, is that elemental? It might be.
It is not. The token says just taunt.
Just 2/2 Taunt.
No archetype. It's just so at the most it becomes a 6/6 taunt. So
I don't know. So it gets slightly bigger every time. 2 mana.
But you have to run more healing, and I can't say like I'm just wondering what because what straight up healing. What straight up healing paladin usually runs these days?
It's usually just like maybe if you bring back Lay on Hands, but that's more like combo stuff. I haven't seen that in Min Rage. Maybe I don't even think like Control does that because it just doesn't do enough.
Yeah,
it's not proactive enough. Like
a lot of it. It's just been lifesteal mostly these days with like so many good cards coming up.
You got True Silver, but the problem with
True
Silver is like if they ever change True Silver so that it heals after the attack, which is then it's Project Light Steel. Probably why it's balanced, but like if that it's just that it heals before, and you can't overheal because when so there's just not a whole lot of other healing support. It's hard to say. And then it's also crowded, and it's going to be sitting in your hand. Don't know.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the commons before. We're just missing Maul at the moment, aren't we?
I think so. Yeah. So with unidentified Maul, so the four that it can just turn into, it's got Purifier's Maul, Sacred Maul, Champion's Maul, and Blessed Maul. So Purifier's Maul is give your minions Divine Shield. Sacred Maul is give your minions Taunt. Champion's Maul is summon 2/1/1 Silver Hand Recruits. And Blessed Maul is give your minions +1 attack.
It's a very
So,
interesting weapon, but I
yeah.
feel like we're not going to see this until rotation, just because why run this if you can just run Rallying Blade? Like that single.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad card because like people still play. Like I just think to attack is still relevant on a weapon because you still got like
Mm,
Jade Claws from Shaman, but then again it's effectively a 3-mana weapon. It's just a 2-mana weapon with 1 overload.
yeah.
So let's
I
see.
think you're
Two
definitely
two of the
right.
outcomes are like crazy. So Champion Small is probably the best one because that's just going to be good regardless of when you actually play it.
Yeah,
Purifier's
definitely.
Maul is it's not too bad. The Taunt is garbage probably. Blasted Maul is pretty good. Obviously you want to board
Yeah.
beforehand. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know.
I think you're definitely right that once Rallying Blade rotates out, this will see more play, but
Yeah,
until then,
because I feel like
it's
the
like,
relevance of
why?
pulling out a weapon 1 mana earlier compared to True Silver will probably be relevant unless there's a similar sort of thing happening for Paladin in the next set. I feel like we won't see this until the actual next set.
Yeah.
I don't think this does enough. Not to mention that it's random and it's when you draw it. So I know there's a card later on in the neutrals we'll get to where it brings back one of your destroyed weapons. It's going to bring back the same one you rolled. It's not going to bring back the unidentified one. So, no, I think that's a card that's getting ready for like the next set. Unless you
Yeah.
really just want to like run like two of these mauls, 2 Rallying Blades, 2 True Silvers, 2 Fine Cleavers, and then run like the giant. Not the giant, the bloody thing that eats all the weapons and gets really big and then gets hexed. I don't know. Alright.
Yeah.
So I think we need to move on a bit. I think, but
Of course. Let's go on
priest.
to the black sheep of the bunch. I'm very curious. Like,
I don't think it's
there's
the
so
black
many
sheep.
memey cards.
No.
I mean, just there's so many memey cards. Like in
Oh yeah, but
priest,
some of this
you
is
got.
fucking bonkers. In fact, if anything, it's just
I
fucking
know,
frustrating.
right?
So I think
I mean,
priest is getting more
look at this first
frustrating.
guy. Look at this first guy.
Temporous.
Look at Temperus. You tell me what they were thinking when they made this.
I'm pretty sure they went, "Hey, that's a really cool card someone made up with. Let's see if that works." And then they went, "Oh shit, let's print it. Why not?"
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean, in the
sure.
same sense, it's not like priest is missing a decent legendary at the moment.
Mm.
Really.
I'm just like you use this in sort of the same. I don't know. You've got Archbishop Benedictus. You've got Temperus.
Oh,
They
okay, so
just.
there is a problem that the fact that this is a 7 mana card, right?
Mm.
You play this, and then you go straight into Anduin if you survive,
If you survive,
and
yeah.
then you have 2 turns of your choosing just to bullshit around, or even just do something like play Marin the Fox. So here we go. This is stupid. You play Marin the Fox on turn
Oh
8,
boy.
and then on turn 9 you just play all your combo pieces to like steal that treasure box and then hit him in the face with a 32 attack power treasure box.
Mm.
Because we've all messed around with Marin a bit, and that was the first thing I thought of. Like, I'm gonna steal that box and I'm gonna hit someone with it.
Yeah.
I don't care what's inside. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be too excited if I got this. I've got like all the priest legendaries. I'm just gonna pull this legendary. I'm gonna pull the shaman legendary because I pull on everything single fucking set.
Of course.
Dragon Soul's a little interesting though.
Yeah, after you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon.
Which means you can just take more of this. Like, look at this common down here, Psychonic Probe. Like, do we need more of this crap? Do we need
What do we
more
got?
Lyra
Copy a
shenanigans?
spell in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand.
Yeah, so it's kind of
As
similar to Mind Vision, except for the fact that your opponent, I think it's even better because it's going to steal a spell, which is generally like a little bit better. And it's
yeah.
from the deck, not the hand. So you have a few more targets you can hit. It's 1 mana. You can obviously play that for free with a Radiant Elemental. I can't wait for that card to fucking go.
Oh yeah.
That's enabled so much, and we can talk about that a little later with some other cards when we get to the neutrals. But
Mm.
And I mean, a big thing is to say is that the Dragon Soul is only 3 mana,
Yeah.
and there are some tools to bring it back with like. Let's see if I can find that epic. I'm just going to bring this up now because it's useful to know that there is some sort of anti-tech against weapon destruction.
Right.
Yeah, so just quickly looking at Rummaging Kobold. It's a 3 mana 1/3, and returns a destroyed weapon to your hand. So you might even run like one of those as just insurance, more or less.
Right.
And then having said that, you can this is one of the cheaper weapons. That just sits there, and you have a latent effect. Really, it's like an aura. It's gonna be interesting. A bit hard to evaluate. I mean, they've already got decks that just throw spells at the wazoo, and this doesn't even need to fit in a dragon deck. Actually, you just do this for tokens. And the great thing about this is you run like just a shit ton more removal, and you play like Dragonfire potions. Why the fuck they print that piece of shit? And I mean, these dragons go straight in the field, right? Like, you don't have them in the hand, so yeah. But I think I'd be pretty happy if I got this weapon for free. Because I mean, we're all getting free weapons. One of these,
of course,
legendary weapons. I'd be pretty happy with that.
It's definitely not the worst one you could pull.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah. So taking note that we don't need to build a dragon deck for this to work. It'd just be like all spells, really.
Yeah.
All spells, Lyra, Radiant Elementals, some nonsense like that. Bunch of card draw. Anduin, Raza, sure. Psychic Scream.
I'm very curious with this one. I've heard a lot of people talking.
Alright, so just
about how this is going to change the meta for like all that.
Whether this changes the meta or not, fuck this card. We're going to see this card whether we like it or not, thanks to Lyra and some other nonsense.
Shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck. Now, doesn't that sound like fun?
Yeah, so I don't think Priest cares about fatigue anymore at this point. I don't think we've seen like a proper control Priest for Yonks, and I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. Like as long as we've got, I mean, everyone's talking about your Razakis Priest, and as long as that lives, we're not going to see like a proper control Priest unless there's some sort of whole flip out. So that's just a solid board clear. You only need to run one of it because it's a bit clunky, obviously. And if it's like against another control deck, sure, like once again, you don't care about fatigue because like they found out the deck's better when you just play a bunch of card draw, masturbate through your whole deck, and then just kill everyone. Then you just throw half your deck on the field and you've just killed them with like hero power gunfire. So
speaking of masturbating, I'd like to point out the card artist is called Chris Seaman. Just some trivia there.
Thanks for that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, high quality.
Yeah, high quality. This is going to see play. You're going to get frustrated, and even if it does, it's going to come up from Lyra. Is Lyra still a thing? I don't know. Maybe it might be a thing again.
I don't recall her getting moved out much.
No, it's not.
Most of the priests I fight,
you just don't see it because you play Death Knight. You don't need to cheese out all the shit from Lyra. You just have consistent machine gun fire.
Yeah.
So what have we also? We'd also got Twilight Acolyte.
Twilight Acolyte, 3 cost, 2/4, holding a dragon. Swap this minion's attack with another minion.
Wow, that's busted. It's 2 fucking attack. We got Potion of Madness. Can't wait for that fucking card to leave. So, oh man, the combos you could pull out of this. They got like a really big minion or something. You play this sucker, you play Potion of Madness. That's 4 mana worth of cards you've spent. You've not only stolen their attack, you've stolen twice. Well, then again, when you steal it, it's only like 2 attack, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose if it's like a super aggressive minion, that'd be a good swing turn. Because you could take that, steal the minion as a threat, and then throw it at like some of the other weaker stuff. And if it's got low health, it'll die. Maybe a one-off.
Yeah.
Or hang on, this is for dragons, isn't it? So you're going to be holding a dragon.
Yeah,
full
exactly.
health is probably going to be relevant in this meta, seeing the amount of like early Clawed Killer that's 3 damage. I feel like full health minions are going to be a thing to keep an eye out on and consider. Like, wow, it's almost reminiscent of like GVG, where it's like, doesn't have full health, dies straight up.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. That was different because Trader had 4 attack. Yeah, I'm just talking nonsense now. But I mean, yeah. Probably just triggered from that Hunter card earlier because I had full
health. Of course. That's what we got on. Got on rares.
Yeah, we've got that card's going to be annoying if that sees playing. Big Priest.
Two different. So does that go up to 6 when you fully upgrade it?
I believe so. Oh, look at that.
Oh no, it goes up by 1 each time.
Well, so even just playing this out normally, you run this as a one-off, okay?
Yeah.
And then even if you don't get any value out of this, which I think might be a bit hard to do on Big Priest.
Yeah.
You don't even get any value out of this, like as far as casting spells to upgrade it. Resurrecting 2, like just having an extra resurrect, and the fact that it summons 2. I think that's pretty good because like Big Priest is here, sure, but like they've lost resurrect from like Black Rock Mountain, which may have seen play there. I mean, of course, the big thing is that, the reason why Big Freeze is working so well is because it's a Discover now, the Eternal Servitude card, 4 mana.
Yeah.
But if you upgrade it, which might not be too bad, if you upgrade this once, this card's like insane.
Yeah.
Upgrade it twice, this is like instantly bringing back a board really quickly, which you probably
4 different friendly minions. Nuts.
Obviously, the problem is like you can just get 4 Barneses, sure. So would that work? That'd be funny. I wouldn't see you running 2 of this card. You'd have to run just 1.
Yeah, definitely.
Dustbreaker. A lot of people talking about this.
If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all other minions.
So a lot of people are saying you don't need to really run a lot of dragons to get this thing going.
No.
But they're thinking too hard on like that frustrating 5-drop, the secret agent coming through. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Draconid Operative.
That's it, Operative.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah. So to get value out of that, you didn't really need to run a whole lot of cards. But in the same sense, you didn't really care whether it came out on curve or not. Because sometimes you just held on to it for a bit, get the value, then you just played a reasonably beefy minion that's still good later on in the game. And you fucking stole a card. Thanks, Priest. But with this, it might be a bit harder to pull off. Sure, you got the 2-drop from Karazhan, the 1/3 that Discover if you got a dragon, so it might help out a bit.
Yeah.
But I feel like it might be a bit tough to get on curve. Because I remember like playing Dragon Priest or other like dragon nonsense with like Twilight Guardian. It was like always felt great getting it out on curve. But without trying to destroy your deck too much, you don't, because if you put too many dragons in there, it's just gonna not be all that great.
Right.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe this card's been thought out a bit too much, and I feel like if this card ever really does become a problem, people are just going to look at running more 4 health minions, which there is a fair amount on the 3-drop slot. Or we just start running, really sticky minions. Like you run Death Rattles, you run Divine Shields. I'm sure, there's plenty of ways that the meta can adapt around this card if it ever becomes a problem. Like, if it becomes a problem. We'll see. Also, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem. So I'm how popular is this card? There's ratings and all these things, right? So this card, everyone's saying this is stupid fucking card, right? But I feel like it might take a while. Like, if it's not bonkers on like the first week, it's going to take a while to really feel like how we need to build this deck, the right amount of dragons. That could take some time.
70% voted meta-defining.
Meta-defining.
Wow.
How can somebody see? Yeah, lots of Dustbreaker, lol. Okay, so whatever. We don't care. So I don't think it's as good as people are hyping it out to be, just because I feel like we can adapt around this card without needing a dumb tech card, which I will get to. Moving on, got what? Twilight's Call.
Twilight's Call.
2 copies of. So 1/1 copies of 2 friendly Death Minions to die this game. Maybe support for Quest, but I think it's more of a Big Priest. And then that makes the Spellstone more consistent. Makes everything more consistent. If you just get more Obsidian Obelisks, Obsidian statues, just like, board for days. It's 3 mana, easy. Maybe not 2 copies, maybe 1. Is there room in Big Priest to move it around? I don't know. Unidentified Elixir. Give a minion T2.
What can this turn into?
And then get a bonus effect in your hand. So we've got some other nonsense.
Yeah.
So you can either give Death Rattle or turn this minion to your hand. Give Lifesteal, Divine Shield, or summon a 1/1 copy of it. I think maybe we could build some more aggressive priest with this. Definitely a wild, maybe. But I don't want to talk too much about wild because that's just nonsense. It's an interesting card.
Of course.
Actually, an interesting card. I don't think the deck for this card exists at the current moment. We need to rethink building priest decks if this card's going to work out. Like, what's the bad result? I don't think there's a particularly bad result happening there. Maybe Lifesteal's just kind of but I mean, if you're playing an aggressive priest, you don't really want to be using a hero power, do you? Like, you don't want to be using that hero power at all unless you can attack face with it. Or like use it and swing over. Let's see, Gilded Gargoyle, Death Rattle, add the coin to your hand. So obviously a coin is like really good in priest, but would you jam this card in there? I don't think so, really.
No.
I feel like there's already like, why would you run this when you just run Psionic Probe? Run this frustrating card, because then you're getting card advantage. Do you need board? Do you care? Well, 0 mana might make sense. Might actually. We're talking about OTKO priest, sure, but like, I don't think really people have cared since Anduin, since it basically does that. So I think in general, priest got more frustrating cards. It is definitely going to continue being the no fun class, but
definitely.
So here's the what's that? Someone get a big bag of I told you so ready for me, because I think Dustbreaker is not necessarily a bad card, but I don't think it's as good as people say. And if it ever gets out of hand, I reckon you can build around it. But I mean, like, if people start building around it, that means it is a meta-defining card. So, let's see. All right, Rogue.
On to Rogue. Oh boy, here comes some fun.
Is Rogue going to be good next expansion? I don't know, but it's going to be fun as fuck.
Oh yeah, look at all these secrets. Look at them all.
I'm not even excited about the secrets. I'm excited about other shenanigans. Like,
Yeah, or
whether you like it or
you
not,
go.
Quest Rogue is probably going to see some sort of like small renaissance before either being like
Yeah.
shut the fuck out or back with a vengeance. It's probably why they nerfed it. Because I mean, like, what you got? How many more cards they're going to work with? Quest Rogue. So you got the legendary Sonya's Shadow Dancer.
Sonya,
After a
Shadow.
friendly minion dies, add a 1/1 copy to your hand. It costs 1. That's pretty bonkers. You just play this
Oh
for 3,
yeah.
start ramming shit into each other. Like, you just kill off all your fireflies. Pull some more in, bam. Super consistent.
Oh yeah.
There's another legendary that does kind of something similar, but not to that. It can't spiralize as much. I don't know whether you're running it. Like, I think you need to look at the bigger picture of Quest Rogue, but there's definitely more support for Quest Rogue. Then you got Cheek Death. I feel like that's maybe not the right place, but if we really, really need redundancy, like we might see this if Quest Rogue tries to survive after set rotation, because you're losing the 2 mana bounce back, the gadgets and ferryman, I think it is, the combo
Yeah.
return minion.
Yeah.
So we're gonna lose that in the next rotation. So maybe we see it then, but probably not now. Quest Rogue, Miracle Rogue, hard to say. If anything, Miracle Rogue's gonna see the other two secrets, sudden betrayal or evasion. But I'm not here to talk about Quest Rogue. I'm not here to talk about Miracle Rogue. Fucking boring decks. I want Oil Rogue back. King's Bane.
Oh yeah.
This
Kingsbane.
card is gonna do.
Shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments.
So I truly
Oh boy.
believe. I truly believe. Like, okay, so whether this card is good or not, this one's gonna be fun
Yes.
on its own in a vacuum. I'd say gonna need a lot of support. You're gonna have to build. Like, a lot of people are just looking at this and trying to jam it into Miracle Rogue. There's been some ideas about like Mill Rogue, which I could definitely agree with. If I get this weapon, I'm definitely going to play around with it. I'm probably going to craft this weapon. I'll be honest. But I feel like there is a way we can use this to sort of bring back Oil Rogue back from the dead. Now I'm super excited about that prospect because that is the one thing I've sort of hated in this game is that they absolutely killed Blade Flurry, which was maybe not an integral part for Oil Rogue, but it made it hell of consistent. But
Yeah.
I truly believe that this card was the reason why Blade Flurry died. And I'm thinking with a Kingsbane deck, you actually might run one of Blade Flurry. Just because you're throwing this thing around. This works with Doomerang, the epic we got in the last set, which returns it to your hand. And apparently there is an interaction where the spell that gives your weapon lifesteal, if you play multiple of those, it's going to double the lifesteal effects.
Oh wow.
Or at least it's going to keep
That's
adding
crazy.
on. Maybe not multiply, but keep adding on. So if I play 2 of them, it's going to heal twice. If I play 3, it's going to heal 3 times.
Wow.
I don't know whether you'd still run 2 spells because like there's so many things you could put on that weapon. So many ways to enhance this weapon. It might get too crowded. And before I get too excited about Kingsbane, obviously it's a legendary, so you can only put 1 in your deck, as opposed to 2 copies of it. But we do have this guy here, this common. I'm just going to bring him up now, because no other reason to pull him up. Cavern Shiny Finder, Battlecry, draw your weapon from your deck. Aggressively started, probably don't care too much about that. This effectively gives you a draw on your Kingsbane. So I genuinely feel like when you can get 3 ways of getting a weapon, or getting a card, the consistency starts to get pretty decent. Like, you're guaranteed to at least draw it halfway through. And even if you draw it later on the game, like, I don't think it's going to feel too bad if you have to use some of your buffing spells earlier, just because you've already got a weapon if you have to use it. Having said that, some people have said, Rummaging Kobold, we brought up before, the neutral epic that returns a destroyed weapon. Do not run that in Rogue. And the reason is because I'm pretty sure you're going to be bringing back the hero power dagger as well, which is going to be complete garbage. It'll be a complete waste of 3 mana. Because I originally thought, that's probably going to be a way, and it's going to be a copy as well, so it's not going to have any. Well, it'll be like a fresh copy. It won't have the enchantments of the old ones. It'll be just new Kingsbane. Won't be the old one. Super excited about that. Getting the move on though.
Yeah.
We've sort of loosely talked about the secrets. You got Faldore Strider. I'm probably butchering that, but it's fucking 1 o'clock.
According to WoW, you go Faldori.
Okay, Faldore Strider. There we go. You got it.
Yep.
Battle Cry. Shuffle 3 ambushes in your deck. When drawn, summon a 4/4 spider. So this is just outright better than the one we got in TGT, where it's like put them in your enemy deck, and then when they draw it. So I think this is really solid for like Miracle Rogue, and the 4-drop has been sorely missing something. Yeah, this is probably going to see some play, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see, we've got the Spellstone, a bit more support for Death Rattle cards.
Destroy one random enemy minion. 3 Death Rattle cards.
3 Death Rattles.
Yeah.
Oh. Why would you run this over Vilespine? I mean, you can get multiple, and I mean, I suppose if you're randomly destroying 2 or 3, you don't really care that it's random, I reckon. But like to upgrade it fully, you got to play 6 Death Rattle cards.
Yeah.
So maybe there is like some space for it to go in like a tempo or an aggressive Death Rattle deck. But I don't even know if you run it as a one-off, and you need to have it in your hand. I want to like this card, but I don't think it's good. I really do. But I mean, like, Vilespine is just phenomenal card. I mean, it helps that you don't need to worry about combo with this, but like, does Death Rattle Rogue really need to do that? Maybe this fits in Jade Rogue? Maybe? Because there's a decent amount. I suppose there is a chance you can sort of get it, and it's not too bad if you top deck this and you don't get any like upgrade value over it. But then you just run Vilespine, and do we really want to run like 2 Vilespines and then 1 Spellstone? Is there room for that? I don't think it's like an entirely bad card. I just feel like it doesn't make the cut. It's just too much competition. In a vacuum, it's okay, but can't really judge cards like that.
It's just such a shame that it's destroy one random. Anyway,
we've got a Death Rattle here. Well, then again, having said that, Kingsbane is a Death Rattle card.
I was thinking that.
You can break the ever-loving shit out of that if you needed to.
Yeah.
But then I'd still run Boss. and I mean, like, because you've got a 1 mana weapon, you can activate. This is a combo activator in a nutshell as well. So you Kobold Illusionist, Death Rattle, summon a 1/1, copy from the minion of your hand. Maybe some more Jade support. I mean, Jade is dying out next rotation, but there's some properties of it. Elven Minstrel, draw 2 minions from your deck. It's a combo, so
it's not bad.
It's card draw. The body's okay. Drawing minions is pretty solid. Like maybe with Miracle Rogue, what we want to do is you're using this as like 2 more copies of Auctioneer, and you play more spell heavy, so you run these secrets. You may like drawing this is pretty good as well, I reckon. You could just really curate the amount of minions you got, make it very high quality draws, and then you just go from there. I reckon that card's pretty sick. Maybe even like a tempo. I don't know, tempo could work in Kelsith. Might be a bit harder to pull off, but I suppose like any body that you can just card draw, That has to be good, right? I'd probably
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah, has to be.
Alright, I think that's it for Rogue. Pretty excited.
Pretty much. Yeah. What do you think,
Oh,
quickly, just thoughts, secrets on Rogue, like,
well, originally
just in general?
I think it's cool. I think this is the way you
Yeah.
want to bring your taunts and heals to Rogue. I think it's like flavor-wise, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's just stupid, like, outright giving a Rogue minion taunt. And I think with Kingsbane, maybe you've got your heal with, like, lifesteal weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool.
It's going to be a new experience learning how to play around the secrets, and maybe it's probably going to make super frustrating the first couple of weeks. People going, oh, fucking nerf this, just, how people are with Spreading Plague. As much as Spreading Plague was like a really strong card, it still is. I just need to get around, like, because a lot of people had trouble adapting from playing against Druid, because usually beforehand, you just built wide, and then you went in like that. But it's single that. I think that's why I hated Spreading Plague the most, is that it covered one of Druid's big weaknesses. You just go wide. Now you got to go taller than they can, which sounds ridiculous because Druid goes tall. All right, Shaman. You want to talk Shaman? What do we got? Shaman and Warlock.
Yeah.
Warrior left, as well as all these fucking neutrals. All right, so
Yeah. So Shaman, I'm okay. So you see, I'm sure you've seen Rune Spear.
yeah.
I
We just want
don't know.
I
don't know. Well, what stands out quickly from here then? Like Grumble, World Shaker, Unstable Evolution rate. At least in my opinion.
I feel like is bonkers.
Yeah.
You run fucking Arcane Giants. Go. Holy shit.
Repeatable this turn just makes that card.
Maybe throw in Auctioneer. In Auctioneer. And then you've got... yeah.
Like I said as well, I really like Grumble. Like 6 cost 7/7 elemental.
It's hard
on its own.
Evaluate, I think. There's
Yeah.
potential there. I feel like there's something good to come of it, because generally when you
definitely
cost reduction's always good.
Yeah.
Like there's been very few cost reduction cards that are actually bad. The one I can think of off the top of my head is like a pirate we got in Old Gods. It was like, which reduced like the cost of a weapon in your hand by 2, which we could actually see play now that everyone's got weapons. That'll be funny.
Yeah.
Spellstone seems interesting. Maybe you want to run like the Overload Giant.
Summon 1 copy of a friendly minion. Yeah.
So Runespear,
all the other ones.
Runespear, I feel is like way too expensive.
Yeah, and it's just.
I feel like it has to be expensive though.
I guess after your hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. So I don't know if you saw I like the stream that they did with Runespear that I saw
calls.
had the shaman kill themselves with.
I don't think he killed themselves with it, but it was just. I think
he
was
got
already dead at that point.
The one that I watched is Lava Burst the right card I'm thinking of? It was some fiery explosive card. Cast it, hit himself in the face for 8 and killed him. So
spell damage.
I'm just like,
nah,
that's not.
Well, I mean, I think it was already dead at that point.
Probably, but still.
In the same sense, I'd probably be frustrated if I got this card. I feel like if you want to really get this card to work, you need to have like a pretty decent collection to support that. So I'd be pretty frustrated.
Yeah,
if I got
definitely.
This card. So having said that, this is the one I got because I got the Shaman Death Knight. I get all the Shaman and fucking priest shit. Like literally my first 3 golden legendaries when I was actually buying cards into this game on launch. They've all been the Shaman ones.
Yeah.
Mind you, like they were actually decent cards. I don't really see a player, but they're good, fun cards. Like, I build decks around them and I enjoy them. Now, here's what I'm actually getting pretty interested in, because you've got some totem shaman support, which sounds infinitely
Yeah.
more interesting than frost shaman.
What have we got? We've got Windshear Stormcaller, Primal Talismans, and Kobold Hermit.
Yeah, so
All
they're all good.
supporting.
So Kobold
Totem.
Hermit's like garbage unless you're going full totems. The fact that you
Yeah,
could choose it
yeah.
for the same cost is pretty. I think it's pretty significant. It's also token, so maybe you see this in like token shaman. Maybe it doesn't
Yeah.
see play immediately. You have got the this could be like the last breath of life for like that 4-drop we got from Karazhan, the I can't remember her name, the one where you just cast spells and then summon totems. Guess what? Got fucking unstable evolution. Go nuts. Like I don't know whether this card's gonna be like super broken, but this has got some
Yeah.
crazy potential. Aside from like the stupid meme low percentage, just high roll every charge minion. It's just this has got so much potential. It'd be really cool to play with this card. I'd actually be playing Shaman a lot. I've got like 2 wins on Shamans. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure half of them with face Shaman, just because I wanted to show, hey, look at this dumb deck. I just 1 and 2 turns. Yeah, so I feel like I definitely want to play around with Totem Shaman. I feel like it's going to be a bit cheap outside the Stormcaller, which I'd be happy if I got. It seems to be a decent epic. Whether it sees play relies entirely on how Totem Shaman goes. Not to mention, thing below is going to rotate next set. So I feel like we're going to see a bit of a last hurrah for Totem Shaman unless we get like a shit ton of support coming next couple of sets. So we'll see. Not to mention we've got Primal Talismans, more totem support.
Give your minions Death Rattle, summon a basic totem.
Which is good, because, you could like super high roll people and just go, hey, look, I've got all taunts.
Yeah.
Excellent. Healing Rain. I think it's a good
12
card.
health.
I don't think it's right at the moment.
Yeah.
Or for any character, so it can actually heal you. Actually, that's going to be an interesting concept, is that if you're damaged, you got like 6 totems, but all your 6 totems aren't damaged. Does that mean that's a 12 health heal on you? Because this is characters. I feel like this card is like it. I think if it does what I say, I think it's going to be a strong card. I don't know whether control shaman is a thing at the moment. Maybe because I don't think healing was particularly a problem. I think it's just having big threats because I think the one prediction I got super wrong so far in Ongoro, I thought Elemental Shaman was going to be pretty solid, and it's not a bad deck. It's just it's not as strong compared to everything else, so it's bad by that default. Well, we got some more elemental support. We'll see how Grumble works out.
Yeah, definitely.
Crushing Hand, another really low cost, high overload card. Is this really
8 damage for 3 overload and 2.
Do we really need this kind of extreme?
Probably not.
Like at the moment, Jade Lightning's just doing enough work. Sure, it's a bit more expensive, but it's Jade Lightning. It's just been good. Murmuring Elemental. This kid's got potential.
Yeah, it's
nowhere
was
near
it?
as good as Bran.
Bran? Yeah, Bran. That was it.
Like one of the values that Bran had was like it was a 4 health taunt. If you threw it out turn 3.
Yeah.
And this card is 2 mana. And a lot of people are saying, oh, it's no Bran. But I mean, you run 2 of this, which means it's a bit more consistent. And it's 2 mana, so sure you've got to use it in that turn. And it's worth noting that there's tons of battle cries that could obviously benefit from this. Actually, that's interesting. Like, okay, so I'm just gonna skip over to a neutral legendary. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Darkness, right?
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Because there was a deck list posted by Mike Dene in the subreddit, and it was
Right.
pretty much to say like, hey, look, if you build a deck list before these cards, the card set actually releases tonight, you can actually just import it into the game right now, and it'll show grayed out that you don't have it. But as soon as you open your packs and build it, the deck's built. You can go ahead and go straight to it. But he had like a mage deck where he uses Simulacrum to make multiple copies of the darkness. And apparently the effect is that when you draw a card, a candle card, that it triggers every single the darkness on your opponent on the opposite side. So if you play three the darknesses, right, or two of the darknesses, you've got 6 candles in their deck, right? You draw one of those candles, it's going to proc for both on the field.
Oh.
So while it's not, you don't have multiple of them, right? You do this in the one turn. You played Murmuring Elemental. You play the Darkness. This is on 6 mana. So it's mostly like a 6 mana do nothing. Like we're going way in the stratosphere, but I mean, like having 6 cards in there is a little bit better than 3, and it has a much higher chance of just high rolling the fuck out of them the next turn. Yeah, we'll see. It's hard to say. Actually, maybe you throw this in aggro mage just because you probably still run coal lights. I'm stupid excited for that card.
Oh yeah.
For Luna, yeah. Alright, so I think we can wrap up Shaman. I think in general,
definitely.
People look disappointed because they don't care about Totem Shaman anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
But even if you don't care about Totem Shaman, I feel like that's a deck that's gonna show up a little later on in the meta if it's gonna break out.
Right.
I feel like Unstable Evolution has so much potential to do like insane shit, like Auctioneer with like Arcane Giant, even just like evolve on its own.
Yeah.
But maybe even fucking Yogg. I don't know. Like it's good to draw this early. It's like it's reasonable to draw this early, and it's nutty to just like top deck this later on if you've got like a board. I feel like it's got so much potential. Anyway, Warlock.
So we've got Warlock next. Now, Rin the First Disciple, huh? 6 cost, 3/6. Add the first seal to your hand.
Alright, so pretty much, for those who don't know how this card works, you've got these seal cards. There are 7. There's 5 of them. Sorry. They all cost 5 mana. You don't get the first one until Rin actually dies, and it's a death rattle. The taunt, the body's it's okay.
And then she pulls it, and then each one
all
pulls
these
out.
Cost 5 mana. Every time you put the next seal in your hand, you get a new demon, and then when you finally cast the final seal, you get Azari, which doesn't even win you the game.
Really. What does he do? 10 cost, 10/10. Battlecry, destroy your opponent's deck.
Yeah, it just deletes it. Just goes, no, you don't have any more cards in there.
Yeah.
I think it's something to watch out for as more support like spells. Maybe you Blood Bloom some seals out early. There seems to be enough like lifesteal coming up in this set, or like just heals in general. Maybe some taunts.
Yeah.
To support.
Either way,
like,
I wouldn't
really aggressive
say
Blood Bloom stuff.
Like, I just can't imagine how you'd like survive long enough if you were trying to play this, because that's what 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,
well, I mean, like
31.
If you play this later on in like a control matchup, it's pretty solid. It doesn't really counter J-Droid. Because I mean, like, as long as they keep one in their hand and they wait for it, like if they, like J-Jord has the capacity to play around having your deck deleted.
Yeah.
I do know that like sometimes when you're using like the Death Knight Warlock Gul'dan, that because you don't have tap anymore, even though you might have the help to support it, you kind of just drawing very slowly, which is kind of what you want to do. This actually just gives some value. It gives you something more to do during your like empty turns. It's playing a minion. You don't really care too much about it. If you play this earlier, it helps out a little bit if you're not really drawing your demons quick. Because they're all demons. Not exactly terrible. Obviously, it could obviously eat up taunt demons, which is probably important at that point. It's also worth noting that Azara is also a demon, but pretty sure at this point you should be in Blood Reaver Gul'dan the majority of the time.
Right.
I do like that the card art for the the Fell Hunter does progressively increase in ferocity. Like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah. It's definitely nice.
I don't think this...
akin to what is it, Jade golems, where you just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you can, I suppose you're running just, if you really just want to cut off Jade, you just run the Skulking Geist. Deleting the rest of your deck obviously feels pretty good. It's just getting it earlier. This is going to be shit against Priest. Or you know what? This can also fuck up Warrior, like the Fatigue Hunter, like the Fatigue Warrior. Do we even care about that? I don't know. I can't. I don't know what the control matchups are like. I just absolutely hate control matchups. Didn't come here to read a fucking novel. Anyway. Fun with friends, then nightmares on ladder. Moving on, I think.
Yeah. So next we've got Skull of the Minari. For 5 cost at the start of your turn, summon a demon from your hand. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be shit the first couple of weeks because, like, okay, this is everyone's deck on like the first couple of days. Is like every single ooze to mankind, Harrison Jones, Bloodsail Corsairs, just fuck weapons, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like once that sorts to like settles down a bit, maybe people aren't playing as many of these weapon legendaries. This has the potential to be pretty good if you can get this early, or even just cheat out stuff. Even Cabal Courier might see some actual inclusion in your deck. It's worth noting getting the demons from like Kazakus potions as well, because there's obviously the options to actually have demons added to your hand, and then some of them are just like clunky, or like you really don't want to throw stuff away that's going to damage you at that point. That's going to help cheat them out a bit. It helps build up your Blood Reaver a little faster. Sometimes you get a high roll, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me a little bit of Void Caller. But I don't think it's nowhere near as powerful as Void Caller, which is probably good. But Void Caller was mostly played because you had Mal'Ganis. Actually, this is going to be disgusting and wild. More ways to cheat out Mal'Ganis.
Yeah.
I think the big problem with Hearthstone and weapons is this. It's going to be very apparent in this expansion is that there's no native way of just dealing with weapons. You have to actually tech in weapon destruction. It's not like Eternal where the durability of the weapon is based on the armor you gain from it or the armor you already have. Because they're the natural counterplay in Eternal is you just, you break their armor, it destroys whatever weapon they have. I don't know. you probably won't. I don't think we'll see the success for this card immediately. If this card is
No.
good, it's going to be later on in the life cycle of this expansion.
It's definitely highly dependent on the oozes and weapon removal.
Yeah, don't if I get this weapon, I'd be happy. It sounds like something fun to play around with. I just won't be using it on day one, I don't think.
Of course.
Void Lord, well, it's 3 Void Walkers stacked on top of each other. And when you kill this, they all drop out.
Yeah.
Does it have custom tokens? Yeah, no. It's just Void Walker. It is literally just 3 Void Walkers.
Literally just the same one?
Stacked on top of each other. And
for 9.
It's 3 attack.
We'll
get about significance about 3 attack later on.
Yeah.
Super rant later on. Cataclysm. Okay, this card is probably good. Maybe not run 2 of it.
Destroy all minions. Discard your hand. Don't need that shit. Get it out of here.
So maybe
fair enough.
This is Quest Warlock support, and it's actually a consistent discard. in the fact that it's quite consistent when you just throw out your entire hand. Yeah, it could be interesting. But I mean, I still don't have the Warlock quest, which is as much as I really want to play around with that. Not fucking going on there.
Yeah.
Possessed Lackey.
5 cost 2/2 Death Rattle. Recruit a demon.
So it is Death Rattle, so I don't know with the N'Zoth Warlock it's going to help out. Because I mean, you got Void Lord, that's Death Rattle. You got Rin, that's Death Rattle. We do have Dark Pact, which is destroy friendly minion, restore 8 health to heroes. The card, this card in a vacuum seems good. Whether we have room for it or not.
Yeah.
There's just better options for heal, like this bad boy here, this Spellstone. Like, unupgraded, it's pretty good. And these 2 commons here, it's going to be very easy to do that. The fact that this is a taunt is really good. Vulgar Honopios. Because, I mean, like, people are running... When we're playing around with, like, the Death Knight Warlock, people are running... the 3 mana, 3/5 taunt demon, just because it's a team with taunt, even if it does destroy your crystal. Just because, like, I think the only
Felguard.
Yeah, that's it, Felguard.
Yeah.
So people are running that just up a 3rd taunt. But I mean, having said that, we're getting Void Lord, which we could possibly cheat out with Skull and Nori, and this kid here, Master Oakheart. We're going to be talking a bit about him.
Oh yeah.
Not now, but we'll talk about him later. Hooked Reaver. I'm not feeling up this card. Oh, Spellstone is good, by the way. It's like, I think what is how high does it go?
Lifesteal. Does it go to 9 or does it just go to like 6?
It goes to 5 and then 7.
Huh. It's an interesting
and it's Lifesteal.
Curve. Yeah. So take damage from your cards to upgrade.
Yeah, so it's worth noting that these 2 new commons, particularly this guy, 1-drop. Draw. So Kobold Librarian. It reads your next life tap only costs 1. Play a 2/1 minion. This card's good.
It's good.
I think.
Yeah.
Like,
pretty great.
Generally, you look at a 1-drop, and if it's got like positive card text, especially if it's something that says draw a card, it's pretty good.
Okay, so quickly with Spellstone, does that mean it says take damage from your cards to upgrade? I guess that just means you just take any damage from your cards.
Yeah, so like if you play
the next
Kobold
one.
Librarian, you play the 1 mana imp that deals 3 damage.
So it's basically you take 2 damage, you get 2 damage on your
even Soulfire face. Soulfire your own face. You could then discard the Spellstone. That'd be great BM. Can't wait for that shit. Yeah, just discard, like, Soulfire face, discard Spellstone number 1, play Spellstone number 2. I don't know.
Right.
Interesting.
I think healing back 7 and while you're also dealing 7 damage is pretty great.
Well, I mean, like, on its own, it's a 3 damage attack. Yeah, it's, if you have to use it like that, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
Upgrading, you only need to take 1 point of damage. You don't have to take like a set amount of damage. It's just whatever.
Yep.
But it has to be from your cards, so it can't just face tank some garbage 1/1. But yeah, I'm not feeling Hooked Reaver. I don't think.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're at 15 health on curve, and I mean, like, when you bring this back with, like, you'd have to put this in like a mid-range deck, I'd imagine. Like, this point fit in Control Demon. This point, I don't even know. Well, maybe Zoo actually. Like, Zoo could potentially be like hyper suicidal these days, and 4 mana 7/7 is good. No downside.
Yeah.
Yeah, if if Zoo does, or maybe you like do like a hyper aggressive deck. That's probably what I'd do if I get this card. All right, let's get a move on because we still got Warrior. Just in a general, Warrior's like, I want to say boring.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's some interesting cards here, but just in general, just boring.
Yeah, there's not much that really grabs my attention.
It's just mostly Warrior. It's really hinging off Recruit. Some of the big things, I think.
Yeah, so what have we got? We've got Geosculptor Yip, 8 cost for 8. At the end of your turn, summon a random minion with cost equal to your armor, up to 10.
So we got a card last set called Rotface, and he's just a battle.
Right?
Now, granted that Rotface and Yip go in entirely different decks.
Of course.
But I mean, maybe you cheat this out with Barnes. It's hard to say. I don't think it's, and I also think Rotface is a bit better just because you can get a bunch of value out of him if you've got cards ready, whereas this is only ever going to be just 1 minion. Whereas, like, with Rotface, you just hammer him to death and you get maybe some more minions in the best case scenario. Having said that, you do have a bit of control over what you're actually summoning, so that maybe it's not good to compare him to Rotface. I feel like everyone is. I'll probably jump to that too. No, I don't think you compare those two cards together. But having said that, Rotface, I'd say, is a bit easier, more consistent to get off than Geosculptor. But
yeah.
I suppose on turn 10, if you really want to do, you could do Yip plus Bring It On, get an extra 10 drop.
Yeah.
If they can't answer that, it's pretty funny. Yeah. I don't think he's going to shift up the metagame though.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
What do you think of the weapon? 8 cost 3/3. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion.
Really slow. Obviously, you want to be top end heavy. There's definitely some support for just there's some spells there in some ways of like holding out, so you can kill a lot of the low end minions. Like, you just run weapons. Yeah, there's like Ironforge Portal. There is the new Spellstone's a bit more expensive than I thought, but I suppose if you want. I think the Spellstone's not that great. You have to be like burning through a bunch of weapons. It's not the end of the world if you. I suppose if you want to really cut down on the minions you want to pull out with Woe Cleaver, or gather your party, which is just interesting as well. Several applications. Reckless Fury. Flurry, sorry. Spend all your armor, deal that much damage to minions. This is a good card, but
Yeah.
I feel like it might not be as popular now until Sleep of the Fishes rotates. Well, it's...
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of don't fit in the same deck. Maybe you run one of each. But they definitely have strengths in different decks. I just feel like Sleep of the Fishes is a bit more there. But having said that, like, I don't think for a Control Warrior there's a support there. Bladed Gauntlet.
Has attack equal to your armor. Can't attack heroes.
Oh yeah, Noggin Fogger bullshit. Here we go. Someone will do it.
Pretty much.
Probably Hysteria. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably Disguised. I don't know. Like the only real support for, well, I suppose there's a bit of support for Control Warrior, but I don't know. Wind Conditions are there. Like the Gemstone Golem. I think that's really good for Taunt Warrior. I don't like the Quest Warrior. I don't think this is going to be good enough to bring Quest Warrior back, but I feel like this will fill some gaps. Looking at Quest Warrior forward, Try Whisker Armorer. This one's good. There might be a case for not running this over Armorsmith, but I think it's a solid card. People comparing it to that 5 mana one that heals, depending on how much enemy minions there are. This card's shit. Kobold Barbarian.
Which one?
Kobold Barbarian, the 3
Oh, right. At the start of your turn, attack a random enemy.
Apparently, that counts as attacking with that minion for that turn.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
If it doesn't, this card is good. You put this in Face Warrior. That blast is near as art. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just the worst ogre. That ogre from GVG. It was good because like if it was bad to attack for whatever reason, it just didn't. Unidentified shield.
Yeah, what do you think of looking at the shield and the spellstone?
I think it's the worst unidentified one.
Yeah, because we've got what? Tower shield, just gain 15 armor. Serrated shield, gain 5 armor and 5 damage. Rune shield summons a 5/5 golem, and then spiked shield equips an Arcanite Reaper, basically.
Yeah, so you got the Arcanite armor. You have Shield Maiden, which is the summon a 5/5 golem game. That's Shield Maiden. Welcome back. Still rep Control Warrior. Serrated Shield. That's what Holy Fire. Actually, that's just better than Holy Fire because it's armor instead of heal. And then you got just more armor. Is there a case for running this card? Don't know. Suppose it's decent for arena, maybe. Yeah. I wouldn't feel too bad if I got the weapon for this. But that's mostly because like I do have some really big minions in my collection already.
Right.
Not the end of the world if I get this, I think. Alright, I think we're finally onto neutrals, unless you had something else to...
No.
Yeah,
nothing. I was curious, like, what you thought of Gather Your Party. Just recruit a minion for 6.
Like, okay, so I think in general, Warrior it's got some interesting stuff, but it's generally, like, uninspiring.
Yeah, right?
I mean, like, we've seen Recruit before. They're just want to put a new keyword. They're trying to tidy up the bloody cards a bit more.
Right?
Fucking gonna be like this card, Astral Tiger from Druid. That single-handedly got me excited about Druid. That's hard for me to do, so I don't really like Druid. Unless it's like Astral Communion Druid. Alright. So legendaries. Oh, like neutral, sorry. Legendaries. Master Oakheart.
Oh, here we go.
Recruit a 1, 2, and 3 attack minion. Not cost. Attack minion.
Not cost. Attack.
So that Grizzly from Druid, the Voidlord from Warlock.
Oh.
This card, we could actually do an entire segment just talking about this card. There's a lot of potential. This card has an insane amount of potential. And even if he doesn't have like that stupid amount of potential, it's a 9 mana build a board. Kind of a bit like Nazoth.
Yeah.
But it pulls from your deck. So it just draws them straight out. So they maybe Astral Tiger.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Yeah, I mean, we could keep going about this card. But I'd like to just wrap this up soon.
Yeah, definitely. We're on to the neutrals, so Mar and the Fox, I mean, but we've seen him in play already.
We've seen him in play. Just before we leave off Oakheart, though, I do want to mention that this card is released at an interesting time, and I do believe it's intentional that he's come in a set where it's near the end of a rotation, so he's in for a least amount of time possible, because this card does restrict design space pretty heavily. It's very easy. I feel like this is very easy for this card to just get out of hand.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can get some bad rolls, but like, it's just got a lot of potential, and I feel like there is potential for him to just be busted, frustrating, or at least it's going to limit certain cards from not entering into rotation into new sets until he rotates out.
Yeah.
So it's something to keep in mind. I don't think we've seen a card that's limited design space for a while. But I mean, having said that, we also saw Kingsbane. Gotta be careful what they print with buffs now. You probably never see another buff for weapons. Alright, the Fox, we've already stolen chests. King Togwaggle.
Yeah. King Togwaggle, again, feels just like, at least to me, feels like a priest card. You're swapping decks with your opponent. Give them a ransom spell to swap back.
A lot of people are talking about really dumb shit like, just explore Ungora your own deck, give them back, and then you...
Oh god.
And then
I'm just imagining that. That's
so
funny.
So hear me out. You explore Ungora, then you Geist it once you give it to them. But everyone forgets that it doesn't care about your turn. What do we actually know the token?
Let's see.
What's the ransom spell? Like, that's gonna play a lot into it.
I believe the ransom's 5 cost. Yeah, 5 mana.
So what happens for 5 mana is that unless you do something to the priest's deck, or why am I singling out priest, sorry. Yeah, unless you do something to your enemy's deck, they're gonna play this after you destroy your Ongoro deck and give you their blank deck back for 5 mana. So
I just I love the stats for like the poll for this guy in particular. 25% say he's meta defining, 25% say he's bad, 25% say to dust it, and 20% say he's playable. Like, so there's clearly a lot of
there's just
mixed
a
reactions.
load of shit going on with them. Hard to evaluate, I think.
Oh yeah.
This is just like an asshole card, really. So
yeah.
This will be the legendary I pull. If it's not the shaman one.
Yeah, this or Temperous. Yeah. This or Temperous, man. That's what's on the cards for you.
I think it's...
What else?
Yeah, okay.
We've already looked at the darkness,
yeah,
and
we
then
talked about him a bit. Yeah, so
Zola the Gorgon is an interesting one.
Gorgon, Zola, fuck you, Team 5.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So this
choose
is
a friendly minion.
Bullshit.
I like it. You choose a friendly minion, so you get to pick which one, and then you get to add a copy of it to your hand.
So the thing to note here is that
gold.
No. It leaves the minion on the board.
Yeah.
It's not a bounce back. It's a copy.
It copies it. Yeah.
It is more or less you can kind of compare it to Shadowcaster, which is a card I absolutely love, which is rotating soon. I think that was in Old Gods, wasn't it? We're actually losing Shadowcast. I'm gonna be sad. I love that bloody card. It was fun. But yeah, this is another way of copying cards. Why do I just think of Quest Rogue immediately? But I mean, this is also new too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb. Fucking, here we go. So you could use this with like Ixalit, the Druid legendary, and then you just got like a butt ton of Ixalids everywhere. And then you just, I don't know, it has the potential to just get nuts. And then you play something else, and then it doesn't do anything because your board's full. Okay, it's garbage. I gotta stop thinking that. Dragon Hatcher. So this is pretty much an evolved nerf. Maybe. Actually,
I just really think like 9 cost for 2/4, and
I don't think this is a
dragon
card you necessarily put in your deck. I think this is a card that just by existing it's good. This is like, I'd say for like Big Priest, if you get this off free from Amber, you can pull out your Deathwing, because that's at the end of your turn as well. So face value, I think it's not that great. Not necessarily something you put in there unless you're trying to get to dragons faster, like big ones in particular. I don't know. Hard to say. Grand Archivist. Then you don't cast a spell from your attack. I feel like doing something stupid with this. Just have this in Hunter and just get it to cast like Call the Wild. And as long as that spell doesn't get drawn, it's just going to keep casting Call the Wild. You lose the charge, but you know, stupid. Something that just attacks face moving. You want to do the next couple?
Yeah, sure. We got Corridor Creeper for 7, costs 1 less whenever a minion dies while this is in your hand.
That counts for enemy minions too as well.
Whenever a minion dies. So, and it's a beast. So, Hunter, maybe. So
hard to say.
It's nice. By the time 3 things have died, if it's in your hand early, by the time 3 things have died,
because we really
4 cost 5/5.
Because we really played that 6 that 6 mana 4/4 minion that's reduced every time it's in your hand a lot. Maybe Evolve Shaman actually. They got a fair amount of removal. Cheat this bad boy out, evolve it.
Yeah.
Get like an 8 mana 1/1 or something.
Yeah.
Death Rattle.
Next.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of the other one. What's the other one? Yeah, I don't know. This violent thing. Yeah, moving.
Spiteful Summoner next. 6 cost. Battlecry, reveal a spell from your deck. Summon a random minion with the same cost.
That's too hard to evaluate at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, definitely. Here's one of my favorite ones though. Like Carnivorous Cube.
Yeah,
that's alright.
Just
Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion. Death Rattle, summon 2 copies of it. Like I said earlier, Savannah Highmane. Good times. I'm sure there's a lot of other, like you just have like
this
Tyrion.
Has some stupid potential.
You know, you put it out on the field. you destroy Tyrion in Paladin. You get Ashbringer.
Yeah.
You get Carnivorous Cube killed. You pull out 2 more Tyrion. It's good times all around.
Well, or even you could do Savannah Jaime next turn, play Carnivorous Coup, and then you use Play Dead on it, so you got like a board full of Jaimes.
Yeah. What next? We got Arcane Tyrant. 5-cost elemental, costs 0 if you've cast a spell that costs 5 or more this turn. So it's just, I guess, for mage, for I guess you want to run it in priest or something like that, or shaman. It's just nice, like
this is a good card.
4/4 elemental. So,
or even something like aggressive, maybe.
Yeah.
Cast a spell. Yeah, Eckerd. How are you doing, Ezra? Ezra the Great? Have I probably got that wrong? Probably. Alright, what do we got next? Shimmering Courser.
Well, next we've got Shimmering Courser, and I really like this one for Paladin, because only you can target this with spells and hero powers. So.
How are you? Yeah, I'm mostly tired. Although I'm enjoying doing this. It's been a lot of fun so far. Is that right? Sweet. Now, okay, so this card is good. I think this card is good because, as a big fan of Rogue, I get farmed by Fairy Dragon.
Of course.
That might not be the case with Kingsbane if I get this stupid deck to work. But I actually hate this card because I know it's good. Because, you just make this thing big. It's also a beast, so you can pull it out with Curator. Because it's not exactly a whole lot of, your beast option at the moment is Galaka Crawler.
Yeah, right?
I mean, not necessarily. I'm not saying pirates are going to die out, but, pulling this bad boy out, pretty good. It doesn't even need to be how is the 4-drop slot in, Paladin? Because I remember it being stacked at times.
Let me think. Paladin.
In Discord, yes, I'm in Discord with my friend Fract, and we thought as an exercise we're going to review some cards because I'm working on a project personally about looking at other cards and making my own card game, which is still very, very, very early in production. It's been 4 months, still heavily in design, still so many issues with it. We're just doing this as a fun little exercise. And another flip side to it is because it's Christmas, we're finding it a bit tight to actually spend money on this expansion. So we're also looking at it free-to-play sense, whether we're going to be upset about getting one of the free weapons or not. So some good and bad ones that. I mean, there are some good ones that are just are good, but we need to build around it, and we might not have that. So we're looking at that as well. But yeah, back to Shimmering Courser.
Yeah, so with 4 cost in Paladin, you got Blessing of Kings, Consecration, True Silver Champion, and some decks running Light Fuse Stegodon and Chillblade Champion. So.
Well, they wouldn't run those two last ones you mentioned. They're not Shimmering Courser worthy. I don't think that goes in a different deck. I think.
Of course.
This is.
But I really think buffing it up would be nice.
I feel like if Paladin's running a Curator package, this is a pretty good one to pick. Just because you can put a bunch of buffs on it. Even if you just put one buff on it, like a Blessing of Kings, that's an 8 mana 7/7, 2 cards.
Yeah.
But it's over 2 turns. I mean, you draw this out with Curator. Probably a little bit. Might not be as good as I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, join Discord as a Skype call. Yeah, it's more of a Skype call, I think. We're calling through Discord because I think I felt so good after installing Skype. Not to mention that I think we're trying to wrap this up pretty soon. We've been at this like
Yeah.
2.5 hours. I didn't think it'd be this long.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. here. We're both pretty keen for bed once we're done with these neutrals. Anyway, moving
I'd
swiftly
like
along.
a quick recap
as
on
much as we...
what weapons we're looking forward to.
Yeah, of course. But we've got Void Ripper and Rummaging Kobold for...
Yeah, well, we talked about Kobold a bit before.
Yes, that's true.
I think
Void
I only
Ripper...
really see Rummaging Kobold and maybe that Priest weapon deck that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That doesn't run dragons, it just runs spells. Something there. Void Ripper, neutral confuse.
Swap the attack and health of all other minions.
It's a neutral confuse. Now remember this. So a lot of people said straight out right, like Spreading Plague. Maybe. Does this card fit in there? Maybe. If you want to frustrate someone, sure. I mean, you're playing Druid, so you're already doing that, really. At this point. It's hard to evaluate. You're either gonna see this in like some stupid like, well, why would you run this over like
Alchemist? It's a demon as well.
I suppose that is something to respect. Maybe I don't know. Hungry Eden.
So for
Taunt Battlecry, summon the fucking 2-cost snail for your opponent.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not that bad. You can pull this out. You can recruit this. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
glad it's 4 attack, not 3. Like I said with this idiot up here. Maybe I craft him. No, there's way too much 3 crafting and potential for that. Right, off that card. Hungry Eden. High roll of Evolve maybe. It's pretty solid. Not really worth spending more time on it. Felborg.
Yeah.
Mossbinder. Nerf the 5-drop slot for Evolve. There's a lot. There's a lot of 1/1s are just random. Like there is actually a couple more 1/1s where they're just filling in the hole for like a high cost mana slot, just so you can low roll and evolve a bit more. Transform a friendly minion into a 6/6 elemental.
6/6 elemental.
This even goes into Evolve Shaman. Really?
Yeah.
Ebon Dragonsmith. It's a 3/4 dragon.
Reduce the cost of a random weapon in your hand by 2. Dragon.
Maybe you do run dragons with that priest weapon. Because it's worth noting now that every class has a weapon. Maybe you don't even need to run this card. You just run like a decent dragon package, and then you pull this off the 2-drop from Karazhan. A bloody Nether Spite Historian. That's the one. That's something you got to consider, I think. Kobold Monk. Farm Rogue again. I suppose it's nowhere near as bad now that you got Vile Spine. Maybe I'm just triggered from the patch before. It's an interesting stat line. It's 3/6. Fucks with Priest. Is it worth running?
Yeah.
What else we got? Lone Champion. Control the minions can. So
gain Taunt and Divine Shield.
Compare this against Tar Creeper, obviously.
Yeah.
Is it better? Maybe. Why would you run this over Creeper? Why wouldn't you? If you can tell, They're both going to rotate out at the same time, so there's literally got to be a reason why you would run this over.
Yeah. I can't really...
a lot of people see potential in it, but like, just run Tar Creeper. Tar Creeper's fucking fantastic.
Tar Creeper's also Tar Creeper's a common, right?
Yes, it is.
So if we're going simply from a free-to-play, like we were saying, a common compared to a rare...
Why would you craft this?
It's no contest.
Shrieking Shroom. This card is horrendous.
Summon a random 1-cost minion. Okay then.
There's a Scorpomatic.
Destroy minion with 1 or less attack.
So this is interesting. Actually, that's gonna be bullshit and wild. I mean, I don't want to talk wild, but yeah. It's
Right.
interesting. It's interesting to be aware of that for wild. It's nice to see that mech is getting some more support. Turn that.
Gravel Snout Knight. Summon a random 1-cost minion for your opponent.
Summon a Gravel Snout Knight for your opponent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah. No, totally.
Feral
But
Gibber.
I really like Feral Gibber. After this minion attacks a hero, add a copy of it to your hand. Regardless of any buffs that you put on it.
I feel like that's gonna... It's a copy of it or it's in play, right?
Yeah. I would assume. So if you buffed it up with something, it'd be like a 2/2 or a 3/3 or a 4/4. I assume. I mean, of course, we'll have to wait and see, but potential's there.
Maybe Quest Rogue. Actually, Quest Hunter. Could be decent in Quest Hunter. Why am I thinking Quest Hunter? Maybe I just love that one. We've got Sleepy Dragon.
Yep.
It's a common Ysera without the Ysera.
Yeah, right. It is a taunt, and it's a dragon.
Being a dragon is a bit significant. Isn't that just better than like... This is like the mammoth we got from Goro. A 6/10. Isn't it just better than that? I think this card actually might see some play.
What's that? That Mastodon or whatever it's called?
Yeah. Giant Mastodon. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Violent Worm, Death Rattle, 7/7, 1/1 grubs. Yeah, just a poor man Ysera.
Yeah.
Silver Vanguard, Death Rattle Recruit, and 8-cost minion. I can't see any decent scenario where that's going to work out.
Yeah. What about Violet Worm? Death Rattle. Summon 7 1/1 grubs.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so I get it. So you play Silver Vanguard, and then you trick your opponent into like killing that somehow, and then you pull the Violet Worm out. Well, let's move on. Guild Recruiter. Okay, this one's actually a little bit interesting at least. So that could work with the Astral Tiger deck we were talking about. Might be decent in Hunter. Maybe? Just because the 5-drop slot is usually garbage in Hunter.
Fungal Mancer. Give adjacent minions +2/+2.
I'd say this is worse than the Menagerie Magician.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And that card sees no play. As much as I really like that card, I do like building Menagerie decks. I like to call them circus decks, but that's just me.
The next two, I'm just like, as well, the Green Jelly and the Trog Glue Meter. Like,
And again, that's a 1-attack minion. You can pull that out with Oakheart.
Yeah.
It's a bad card, but there's like a very slight chance that it might actually see some legitimate play. And it's a taunt. Can't deny that.
Corrosive Slide, we've got more weapon removal.
Yeah, that's an arena card.
Right.
That's an arena card.
Yeah, of course.
It's good arena, because you're going to see fuck tons of weapons. They're going to need something from this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Curse Disciple.
Summon a 5/1 Revenant.
Quest.
God, they are gonna die so quickly.
Quest Droid.
Yeah. Hoarding Dragon. Give your opponent 2 coins.
That's not actually all that bad because it's Death Rattle.
Yeah, true.
Like, we had Hungry Dragon a while back in Black Rock Mountain, and that even saw some fringe play. Like,
Yeah.
this is a pretty fucking tempo card. Maybe we can build like some aggressive dragon deck. Just tempo some cunt out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be
Shroom
good.
Brewer. That's not too bad as well. 4 cost, 4/4.
That's really good
Restore
neutral
4 health.
healing. Now
Yeah,
you gotta
right?
remember that we had a card similar to this. It was the vendor from Grand Tourney.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that was restore health to you and your opponent, and it's basically a very very similar stat line. So this is
Yeah.
just better, and you even choose to target with this. You can even heal a minion with this. It's not heal your hero, it's healing a minion.
Yeah.
That's really really interesting. Not to mention that there's plenty of cards both in rogue and neutral just to copy shit around. That's I think it's good.
Mm,
That is this actually might see some play. Maybe I put it in mill rogue.
yeah.
Sneaky devil
We got
stealth.
sneaky
Your other
stealth. Your other
minions
minion have +1 attack. Hmm.
and it's also a demon, which might be worth
Yeah.
considering. But I feel like I want to just run Direwolf over this.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not that great. Boisterous Bard, Battle Cry. Give a poor excuse why not to play Shattered Sun Cleric. I'm just moving
yeah.
on. Stoneskin Basilics, just ruin arena.
Divine Shield and Poisonous. Sewer Crawler. 3 cost 1/1. Summon a giant rat with 2/3.
Nerf the 3 slot evolve.
Yep. Kobold Apprentice. 3 cost 2/1. Deal 3 damage randomly split on all enemies. Really?
I feel like I want to like that one. It feels like it's a safer what's it? I can't remember its bloody name. It's the 3/2 minion that just deals 3 damage randomly to minions, including your own and self. It's like the crazy
Yeah.
bomber. It's like Mad
Oh,
Bomber.
yeah.
Mad Bomber. That's it.
Yep.
So, and it's got a better stat line, and it costs 1 less.
Yeah.
If you're playing Kobold Apprentice, why you have to also be playing Mad Bomber. Dragon Slayer. I actually hate this card.
Why is that?
Like okay, so like one of the worst things I hate about Hearthstone is that if it wants if they want something, there's a lot of cards in there that are just hard counter answers.
Ah.
Like Galaka Crawler is probably a good recent one to think of. Even earlier, you got Hungry Crab. I don't like those cards because I feel like what you want to be able to do to work around certain strategies, you want to have a synergy between your cards. And that synergy creates a strategy in which you can deal with these sorts of problems like dragons. I don't know whether this is good enough to run normally. If dragons get out of control, sure, we have an answer. This actually just shits on what was it? Cobalt Scalebane, that 5 cost dragon we got last set, which was like one of the underdogs, I reckon. I love that card. If I had a video recorded of what I said about it before, I'd get a big bag of I told you so for people. But this card just shits on it.
Right.
But it doesn't have any other supporting text. Like the reason why Galactic Crawler is such a good card is that it's also a beast. So like Hunter and Druid can still work with it with other synergies like Houndmaster or Mark of Yashara. It's pretty good. Toothy Chest. Start of your turn, set this minion to attack the 4. Meat wagon?
I guess.
Maybe good in arena.
Yeah. Fungal Enchanter. Just restore 2 health to all friendly characters.
Characters, so that's yourself, right? So isn't that just
Yourself.
better than... What's it? Better than Farsu? Whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? Fucking aggro priest in wild. Calling it. Because you've got... This could enable it so hard. I don't think it'd be a good deck, but it'd enable it really hard. I remember having like some stupid like aggro priest before like the last rotation where you had like the 4-drop from TGT where it gets like 2 attack every time something scales, and I was running like the friendly bartender. This is a really bad fucking deck, but that you could even get like an insane amount of card draw with that as well if you have like Northshire Cleric up. It's interesting. Plated Beetle. Death Roll Hunter maybe. It's a beast. 3 armor. Maybe not even just Death Roll Hunter, it's just something you want. Is this more fucking armor druid stuff? Wax Elemental.
It's an Oiatron, but not.
Oh, dude. Quest Hunter. Like, have you... So I played a Quest Hunter on my stream when I, was first messing around with Hearthstone on here. And that's like been a deck I've been working on for a fair bit. And it runs Corpse Takers, and Corpse Takers have been like absolute dream on this. So the crazy thing is this enables Taunt and Divine Shield. So I can get rid of like, I can't remember the 1-drop with Divine Shield. Either way, and this is also an elemental, and it's getting pretty elemental heavy on that Quest Hunter.
Yeah.
In fact, it just tries to generate value that way, and this is going to slow things down on 1. It's probably good. Like this is a legitimate case of seeing play. I mean, it's a 1-drop with like a bunch of text and tags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got last one, the Diamol. I feel like this is probably intended specifically for Hunter, more than anything.
No.
1 cost, 1 3.
I mean, I don't deny it being a Hunter, but this is going to be sick and aggro druid. Like a turn 2, 3/5 from Mark of Yashara.
Yeah, fair enough.
5 health minion on turn 2. That's disgusting. In fact, this would probably get run over Alley Cat anyway. In Hunter, if we're not going to go like the legendary minion route, because this will see a lot more play than Alley Cat just because this doesn't die to patches, and putting attack on this is going to feel really good. Putting health on this, not so much. I think 3 health is pretty relevant on 1-drops at the moment, purely due to patches. Like you have to do a lot more work just to remove it. That's actually this. I think this card will see play. Like if aggro druid hangs around, this card will be in it. It's just good. That's just. And we made it. We made it. It only took us close to 3 hours. So next time we do something like this, we're fucking doing it on a weekend.
Yep.
I mean, granted, this was like a really like spontaneous decision, and it was meant to happen yesterday. But
of
we
course,
had like Pokemon on today. We had
right.
That was good today. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. So quickly from like you said, with us not buying into it being free to play for this for this one. For our one, like, guaranteed free weapon, what would your top pick be?
Alright, so we got 9.
If you had to choose one.
Oh, I'm not even going to talk about choosing one because I'll probably craft it.
Okay, well, what would your top three? Top three be then to get?
Well, Kingsbane would be absolute bonkers.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a Luneth. And then I think, let's see, it's kind of a tie because there's like those two are the ones I truly want to play around with, and I've got some ideas running through my head.
Right.
And I think there's about 1, 2. I want to say 2 weapons I'd just be like kind of disappointed if I got. So like just going through them, like Twig of the World Tree, I don't find that really exciting. I'm sure there's like some crazy combo in there. Maybe it's not. I think it's something we're going to have to keep in mind at future sets, but I don't think this is that set.
Yeah.
Just because this is legendary. And we've done this kind of shit before.
Right. I think personally I'd be happiest with Valinir, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Paladin, obviously. But Aluneth, I would be very happy if I got that one as well. And then I think Kingsbane after that.
Yeah, Kingsbane? You playing Rogue?
Yeah, definitely. I probably, like, I feel out of all of the other ones, like Rock Delar, Twig of the World Tree, Woe Cleaver, the Rune Spear, and Dragon Soul, all those don't really
appeal
to me. Skull and Minari, all that. They don't really.
But like, okay, so think of it in this sense. I mean, I'd probably only want to drag this review out for like another 10 minutes, just to get some closing thoughts. Now we've got sort of covered the whole thing. So just going by each weapon one by one. If we got this tomorrow, how are we feeling?
Right.
Like, if you got Twig of the World Tree, how would you feel about that?
I'd feel probably disappointed if I got Twig of the World Tree.
I think that's just boring, and you need to like have a really extensive collection to even to be able to achieve that. Maybe there's something in WoW, but like done that kind of stuff before. Rock Delar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, me personally, I'd be excited because it's Hunter.
Yeah, of course.
I've actually I think there's enough like basic spells, common and rares, to be able to try it out at least.
Same with Twig. Same as with Twig, I would be personally disappointed because, like, probably especially with Rock Delar, because I don't feel like I would play Hunter like much at all, and I feel like I said before, it feels a very niche specific deck.
I think it's not even that. It's just very forced. I mean, like, if I get that, I will definitely try it because I mean I'm a Hunter fan, so it's probably a bit biased. But I mean, in the same sense, it's also entirely a new idea. So I'd say even if I was a fan of Druid and I got Trigger the World Tree, I probably still wouldn't be all that great because it's like I've done the 10 mana bit twice now. I did it with Astral Communion. I did it with Aviana Kun shenanigans. I'm sure you could stack it on top of it, but no. Yeah. But this is like an entirely different idea. So even if it like falls flat on its face, like Freeze Shaman, it's at least a different idea, something entirely new.
Right.
Mage, I don't think we really need to worry about coming. We both agree. We think there's weapons.
That one would be amazing.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Valinor, you're biased. I'm actually pretty.
I am biased.
I feel like an aggro Pally really wants to use that as his top end. Yeah. And the amount of card draw and deck thinning could be fairly consistent, I reckon. I reckon there's potential here. Priest. Yeah. Not something I'm, going out of my way to try out, but I think there's
Yeah.
something interesting out of that.
I think I'd be all right with the priest one if I got it. Like it's not something I wouldn't play at all.
The weapon's flexible about with this. I think the reason why I like
totally.
this one is that there's going to be many different ways you can build this one. You can build a control, you can build it fast, build it in fucking Yogg, build it minionless, be a meme, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no comment. Kingsbane, no
right.
comment. This is
if
this brings
understandable.
back Oil Rogue in some capacity, be very happy. If it doesn't, I'm okay if this doesn't work out, because I feel like I'm going to have at least a handful of games where this thing gets just nuts. But I do feel like this can't just be shoved into a deck. Shaman.
I think Rune Spear and Rook Delar are the two that I'd instantly dust if I had to. I just could never see myself using either of those.
Yeah. You shouldn't dust though, because with the legendary changes. No, it hates it.
Well, yeah, that's true. I would hate to. Yeah, I would hate to get it and then get it again. Yeah. That's
Rune Spear. I don't think I'd feel as bad if I got this, because I'd feel like it's a little easier to build or throw this into a deck. But I mean, it's still bad. If I got it, I'd still play it. Or there's worse weapons than Rune Spear, I think. I think I'd be most disappointed with the World Twig. Warlock?
Skull of the Minari could be.
It's not too bad. Although I don't think I have like a lot of the big demons. Like I don't think I feel too bad if I got this weapon. But I feel like with my current collection, I would. Like I don't generally run big demons, I don't think. There's a couple of good like mid-range ones, but generally you want to use this as a cheating device. And in the same sense, you don't want to just like on turn 5 do 5 mana nothing. I don't know. It's there's a deck for this, and I don't think my collection supports it, so I'd be a little annoyed, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Warrior Cleaver. I wouldn't mind Warrior Cleaver.
I don't feel like this one really needs like much else besides itself to be playable.
Yeah. I would like to have Gather Your Party, like 2 copies of that.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I feel like my existing collection is not going to suffice. I'm going to have to pull these rares. But having said that, they are rare, so it's not too bad. Alright, so in general, so let's see. For me, there is like 2 absolute nutty weapons I'd like to get, and then there's like 2 weapons I'd be pretty happy with getting, and then I think there's only really, the weapons I'd really hate to get would be Druid, and Shaman, and actually no, I think about it, probably Warlock. I mean, Warlock's not bottom of the barrel, but it's getting close.
Yeah. Oh well, I guess we will have to trust in RNG as always to deliver us something actually playable.
Worst case, we've got the new free mode. Just play that. It looks like a lot of fun.
It really does. I believe if I sorted it out right time-wise, at least the Hearthstone Twitter tells me that we've got about 4 hours until it goes live.
There's no way I'm playing in the morning before work.
Of course.
I'm so stuffed tomorrow, so that's fine. I will be playing this, and I'll probably stream my pack opening this time. Usually I just crack them open and go, sure.
Right.
I'm not exactly buying 50 packs. I was going to be like, oh, look, 2 minutes of me opening 40 dust. I don't know. Actually, speaking of dust, just quickly before we wrap it up, how much dust do you have sort of saved up? How prepared are you? Because at the moment, I have like 1 pack to my name and 100 gold. I've been pretty
fair
forward
enough.
in preparing to it, but I
Okay.
almost have enough dust for like a legendary. So
Okay, well, as it is, I have been very on the ball, I feel. I have my 3 packs from the Tavern Brawls. I have 800 gold and 1600 dust. So
right. All right. So just
one thing is getting crafted. I feel if I get all of my cards in order and like I get all the luck I desire, I will be getting Valinir. I will get the Paladin Legendary, and then I will be able to craft whatever else, epic or
okay.
whatever I so desire.
Right, so
So
that begs the question because we're both interested in like crafting a weapon. So
yeah,
if we don't get the weapon we really desire, like if you don't get Valnir, and I don't get Kingsbane, because those seems to be the hot contenders.
yes.
Like for me, if I don't get Kingsbane, crafting Kingsbane. If I do get Kingsbane, I don't know what the fuck I'm crafting. Probably just it. But if you don't get Valnir, are you going to craft Valnir or are you going to craft Linessa?
If I don't get Valinir, I feel like I will probably wait and see how the meta shapes up and like the decks go and how before I craft anything.
So I think my personal opinion for you would be craft Valnir just because it's going to enable
probably
different verbs.
That is most likely what I'm going to
like
be
after discussing it, I feel like this is not necessarily a hand buff card, but I feel like this can enable as a top end for aggro decks.
Yeah, probably.
It'd be cool to see aggro paladin again, and then it'll also be ironic that once again Hunter isn't the aggro class.
Yeah.
Alright, I think that is going to wrap it up. So I don't know
Cool.
if I'll bug you tomorrow to join me. We might have some games if we actually had some throw together some decks. I think the plan is at some point in the stream it'll be opening my measly pack or 2, bashing my head against a couple of quests, maybe getting a rogue game or 2 with this, although I might need a little bit more dust to support it if I don't get like those rogue commons.
Right.
And if like everything falls to absolute squat, I believe it's the dungeon run, which I'm pretty excited about.
Cool. Right. I'm very much looking forward to it. I haven't really looked too much into it, so going in quite blind, but everyone else tells me that it's really fun. It looks really fun.
So that stream will probably happen in about, I want to say around about 15 to 16 hours from now, because I've got to go to bed and get back from work. And probably won't rush it, I don't think. But this, it was quite fun. I'd say when we get closer to the next Hearthstone set, we'll pull this up, like when we get the announcement and go, how right were we? Given that we've sort of glanced over some cards. Yeah. Have to like break it down a fair bit. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you later, and good night, Fract. Thanks for joining.
Good night.
It was fun.
Pleasure. Alrighty.
Alright, have a good one, guys.